the light uniforms of the London Lightning. To the center of the court, Rudolph Joly. He knows all about Budweiser Gardens. He spent a year here for the London Lightning, taking on the franchise leader in blocks in a single game, folks. He had 8 in the last contest, beating Elvin Mims 7. Amir Williams goes the battle. It's Express, it's Lightning, and it's basketball action on NBLC TV. Billy White looked like he almost had a breakaway off the tip-off, and somehow he's just kind of had an off week. Jermaine Haley, bang! Starts this game off with a tray.
I was so happy to see that because I really think they need to get him more involved in the offense. No hesitation on that three-point shot and a clean look.
Back away is Marcus Anderson. Again, in that last game against the Lightning, he had 19 points, 10 rebounds. He was 3 assists shy of the triple-double over the course of 47 minutes of action. So JAYLON Tate, the Chicago native, crawls across midcourt, guarded by Anderson right now. Switches off of a screen, feeds it to Jones. Jones, who, by the way, is a former Winsor Express product, got it to Amir Williams, can't get love off the back of the rim. That's Billy White, dashing up the court, trying to lay it off the square. No call. He gives a glare to the official as a result. Tate to Forte, the C opens up. He puts up the hook. No call. Amir Williams on the recycling bin. Yes.
Good 1-2 punch. Amir Williams, not only is he a center, but he's just, I call him a wide body. That's an old school term, right? But he just takes up so much space and was able to grab that rebound.
You got 6'7" Forte and 6'11" Williams out there. It's a little too much humanity to handle on the Express defense. Anderson on the swing. Kind of got it back after a terrible pass to Jolie. Puts it up, can't get it to go. Rebounded away by Forte.
Gives the ball up early. Mindful of his 8 turnovers last game, so gives the ball up early, doesn't want to get a turnover.
Jones was sort of a stutter step move, lost the ball in the process, and as a result, it's the Express ball. By the way, Jones last season was again in an Express uniform. He started 12 of 15 games for Coach Bill Jones. He averaged 36.7 minutes and 22 points per game, shooting 40.3% from the field for them.
He's playing big minutes for London this year.
Into the game now. Quinnell Brown going around Jolie. Now finds Jolie. Down low to Anderson. Back to Jolie. Couldn't cap off the play. A foul's called.
No, a foul. He came from out of bounds to back in play to grab the ball.
Can't be the first to touch the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Good call, partner. So a 5-2 game here early for the home side. Again, looking to go to 11-0. That would tie a league record set by the same franchise back in 2012-13. And that team did go on to win the championship that year. Forte, fed by Amir Williams, goes down to the baseline. He's met sturgently by Billy White and Love.
That's good defense by Billy White. He's not quite as strong maybe as Forte, but he held his own.
White kicks it out to Anderson, sort of tiptoes it to his teammate near wing. Almost a wedgie at that time.
Yes, they need to make those wide open shots. Winsor does.
Jermaine Haley feeds Forte, and they're going to say Jolie pushed on him.
Well, one thing I give Cameron Forte a lot of credit for, he is quite often the first big down the floor. He's hustling from one end to the other end, and he beat Jolie down there, and Jolie, trying to catch up to him, caused a foul.
Jolie debuted in this league with the Winsor Express in 2015, but as I was referring to earlier, was a former London Lightning product. Does a spin around, works for Forte. In the 2018-19 season, the center Jolie, he didn't start any games for London, but he competed in 20 games, averaging 7.7 minutes and 2.8 points. Maybe not the most memorable Lightning product. As Winsor looked like they were going to lose the ball, so craftily play it off of a Lightning product.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Quinnell Brown fits into this. Like, we see what his numbers are on paper, but this is our first look at him on the floor this season.
You said before we got on the air, you thought Billy White needs to get about 30 points here tonight in order to give his team a chance at the victory.
I do, yep.
Nifty pass from Brown to the aforementioned White. It frees up real estate for a teammate that can't get this shot to go. That was Lance Tejada. Haley up the court. Gets roughed up a little bit by Quinnell Brown, who can't believe the call.
An open court foul. It was a bump. I don't know. I still call those cheap fouls. I'm not sure. It didn't really affect the play. The player kept the ball. But anyway, on Winsor.
By the way, we were talking about Amir Williams' franchise record. What is the league record? Well, it is 10, and that's Anthony Stover. Do you know what team Stover played for? It's your favorite. That's the only hint I'm going to give you, John.
That's my favorite.
Well, you went off about it last broadcast, and you even had to explain to me what a mill rat was. It's the St. John's Mill Rat. That record was set in 2016 on January 13th against the Halifax Hurricanes.
Well, it's Isom following up on the turnover again. That was London's really Achilles heel last game. They had so many turnovers that lead out to points off a turnover. 24 turnovers from London last game. So 31 points against them. Easy takes. They really need to protect the ball. That's against any team, let alone Windsor.
Anderson was trying to find White initially. We'll give it to Tejada. Great ball movement around the perimeter. Now it's White pulling the three. It won't go as the shot clock was expiring. Jolie on the offensive board. Leads to another corner three. Nylon ripper from Anderson.
Finally, after so many good looks, they finally convert one. They're going to need the strength of the three-point shot to stay. Oh, just slicing through the defense that time was Tate.
And remember, Marcus Anderson spent 5 years at Carleton. Oh, yeah, he only collected 4 national championships as JAYLON Tate gets 2 points here. Remember, it took him to the second half to get his first points of the last game for JAYLON Tate, but I don't know a guy that's pointless in the first half and then ends up being 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double. That's exactly what Tate did over 39 minutes. Sure, it was just 11 points, but 10 dimes, John. You get
Dimes?
that one?
Are you using my dimes? I like that.
And then 7 rebounds to be shy of the triple-double.
Yeah, 10 assists, absolutely. Just a terrific distributor.
Chris Jones up the court, does this so well. He's going to pop it like a pea, like Edamame? No. Hits the back of the rim instead. Ice him into the corner. Haley hit it from that spot earlier. Instead, it goes down low to Williams, who spins around. They're calling jump ball. And, okay, we're going to get each other's face here. Jolie. I mean, I'm surprised the officials let that slide.
I don't know. Williams a little overreacting. That was good defense by Windsor, and I don't think Jolie appreciated his littler guy getting pulled around by Amir Williams with so much force.
Great start for this game for the London Lightning. They're up by 6 here, John. Remember, they beat these Express 123-104 here at Budweiser Gardens. That also was a Sunday game, literally 2 weeks from the dot. And in that game, London shot only 16% from downtown, 4 of 25. I mean, that game could have easily been 30, 40 plus.
You're absolutely right, partner. I still don't see a high percentage for three-point shooting for London yet this year, even though they are 10-0.
Jones was trying to lose his man. I don't know if he lost track of the shot clock and kind of heaved it up as it died out.
Offense stalled that time, and Windsor stayed with it.
Jones in the last game, by the way, was a 108-105 victory over Sudbury back on Thursday night. 42 minutes, 21 points, 10 dimes again, John. Oh, yeah, again, 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Everybody was in triple-double category. And to be honest with you, the person we think got it the most, Amir Williams, because if he had 2 more blocks, that was the triple-double for the guy that also contributed 16 points and 11 boards.
Rebounds, yes. Yeah, he was coming off that COVID protocol, that 10-day break. He was just raring to go, and he put his stamp on the game big time.
I wonder if somewhere, Anthony Stover, the St. John Mill rep back in 2016, was holding his breath, going, don't get 3 more, don't get 3 more.
I thought I saw Walker from KW get a number of blocks the other night as well.
Yeah, you actually said that in a previous broadcast.
It was 10, but maybe I was wrong on
Well,
that.
and to be honest with you, I wouldn't doubt that. He got 5 in his first game here at Budweiser Gardens. He got 6 in the next game for the Titans here at the Bud.
We'll have to look that one up maybe at halftime. We got some time to look at those overall stats.
Well, by the way, the stats, I got to give a big shout out to the odd man, Audley Stevens. He's our commissioner of this league. He's actually the one that hooked me up with that Anthony Stover tip.
Okay, well then.
It comes
I must have misread that.
Straight from the top of the
well,
pyramid,
then
John.
I'm believing him. Don't believe me. So.
Hey, man, bottom bricks carry all the weight, John. That's what you and I are here for. 6:08 remains
mismatch here
in the first quarter. Billy White trying to back down. Jones shrugs Jones down to the court, and it's Jordan Jensen White like a dog on the bone pulling away the rock. So impressed with Jordan Jensen White, eh?
Yeah, he does everything you need from him, he'll do. So some nights he'll score more than normal. Other nights he's just going to take a charge. Other nights he's going to just be a beast on the boards. He's what I call one of those glue guys. I don't know if I use that term this year yet, but he's a glue guy for the team. He'll do any role you need. Sometimes he's even the primary ball handler.
And on that same note, I was speaking with Marique Isom before the game. He logged 31 minutes of court time as a starter and had 18 points and 3 assists, and pretty much just said, hey, if my job's getting the offense that game, I'll get the offense. If my job's to play defense, whatever Doug Plum needs me to do. When you hear a guy say that, and this team's trying to get 11-0, I mean, it holds true. Jordan Jensen White.
I would call Isom another glue guy, absolutely.
Off of the rebound from Jordan Jensen-White, slapping it out of bounds is Terry Thomas. Welcome back, Terry, considering he was not in the action in the last game against Sudbury.
And you say he didn't have a real good warm-up, but sometimes that's a precursor to a really awesome game, right? So
I watched Terry
Thomas can never
Thomas
tell.
shoot maybe 23 balls in front of me, and he could have re-bricked my farmhouse.
It's like that Jordan guy, right? Remember, he had all the flu, and he couldn't even barely warm up, and he goes and scores 58 points in a playoff game. Like, you just never know.
So again, timeout on the court. Both these two teams, by the way, offensively speaking, have been guns blazing as of late, yet sort of a lackadaisical production in the offense in this one to start off our Sunday afternoon.
Well, I think a disturbing sign already for London. They already have 3 turnovers here in early play already, and it's something that Doug Plum was really upset about for the last game. And it's something that I really noticed as well.
Well, they were negative 17. That was 31-14. They were down from points off of turnovers. In the game that, to be honest with you, Sudbury just kept sticking around, and London barely pulled out the 108-105 victory.
Well, and like I said, uncharacteristically, they shot 80% from the foul line. This year, London's been shooting around 67, 68%. I'm just doing the math. If they hadn't shot so well from the foul line, they would have lost that game.
Large factor, Cameron Forte, 5 of 5. JAYLON Tate, 5 of 6. Chris Jones, 5 of 7. Amir Williams, 5 of 8. Marique Isom, 4 of 4.
Yeah, some really good foul shooting there, but we haven't seen that all year, right, up to these 9 games they've won. So I'm thinking that game was in jeopardy. If they didn't shoot the foul shots so well, that game was in jeopardy.
And once again, trampling the Express the last time they were here at Budweiser Gardens back on March 13th, 123-104. In that game, 65.6%. Missing 11 shots from the charity stripe were the Winsor Express. And then you think back to, well, they outshot London from the downtown district, but John, they also took 7 more shots to do so.
Well, if you really do a deep dive in some of the stats that London does, like they scored, what score last game, 108?
That's right.
They did it on 88 shots. The rule of thumb in basketball is for every shot you take, usually you get rewarded with a point. So if you put up 100 shots, you're going to get 100 points. So they got 108 points out of 88 shots. Like that efficiency, that's why their percentage is like 49% as a team.
And to put that in perspective, well, the Express shot 84 times in their last game, made 28 for 33.3%. They put 84 points on the board in the 99-84
That's the metric
loss.
I'm telling you. Like that's just sort of a general metric. And of course, the 3-point is the wild card, right? If you shoot well on the 3-point line, like 35% on the 3-point line, your efficiency goes way up.
Lance Tejada tried to put up the floater. It won't go. Amir Williams saves it from going out of bounds, and now Tate pushes the pace the other way.
He does such a good job of controlling the ball, right? For a few turnovers as well. Has the ball in his hands so often.
You can see him being a general on the court right now, guiding traffic as he's being watched by Tejada. Shot clock's down to 8. There's Terry Thomas. Looked like he was fouled, and 1.
And what are you talking about practice? Who needs practice? Just let me get in the game and take a shot.
4-point play, Terry Thomas.
Oh, let's go. Oh, no, it's called against him. Oh, he kicked his feet out. That's what we're going to see. Watch the replay here. He kicks it. See how he kicked his right leg out? And that's what got him the defender. So he has the foul against him. The 3-pointer counts, but the foul will go against him because he kicked his leg out right in front of the defender.
They're not counting the 3-pointer, John.
That should be. The ball's already released.
Remember, we do play under FIBA/NBA. It's kind of a mixture, hybrid of rules.
It's a bit confusing, I agree.
It's hard to take out what counts from which league sometimes, but the shot won't count. And even to add to that point, John, now I want to know, does that make him 0 for 1 from downtown?
No, it won't be counted as a shot attempt, right? So
Jordan Jensen, to me, looked like he was shoved on the baseline.
A little physical contact down there. Windsor's starting to put a little bit of physical. I think they do need to be physical, to be honest with you.
So Billy White's trying to inbound from the end line. It's got to go to the other side because Jordan Jensen-White's awaiting the rock.
Wow, this is confusing. What is that call down there? I thought White stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, but I think he was shoved.
And so they did call a foul on that then. I'm looking at, yeah, there's 3 fouls now on Winsor. You're right.
Tate looks for some open real estate, finds Thomas. Back to Tate. Only 10 seconds left on this shot clock. It's Forte. Again, 44 points poured in against the Express last time. Jordan Jensen-White, it's a little too much muscle on this attempt. Back the other way with a head of steam, Lance Tejada. He had 12 points and 6 rebounds in that last game. Lance Tejada, those 3 of 17 from the field, 0 for 3 in that last game in Kitchener-Waterloo. As once again, even if this had gone in, the shot wasn't going to count, John.
It's an offensive foul down under, I believe, on Amir Williams. Or on, no, it was on Forte. And Will Williams is trying to get Forte to get back and stop complaining to the ref.
And it was funny because when you said that, I was like, well, it doesn't really matter who it is. They're both trying to calm each other down and, more importantly, get away from the official. We saw in the last game a Sudbury 5 product and Marcel White actually be ejected from the game. As I say that, it's a whiteout outside. It might be a whiteout inside as Billy White gets on the board.
He's finally able to convert. He looked so frustrated earlier. They really need for point production from Billy White, whatever it takes.
Blizzard outside. Get me out of this country right now. 11-11 right now. Tate to Amir Williams trying to spin move it. The floater's good.
He just carves out so much space when he turns his shoulders like that.
And as the snow barrels down here in the Forest City in late March, well, the NBLC action heats up inside at the Bud.
Looks like Windsor's found their equilibrium here a little bit. The game's 2-point game.
Quinnell Brown guarded by Thomas, feeds White. White going after the rack, got the ball back, floaters up, nylon.
He's staying with it. He's got a nose for the ball. He wants to put that ball through the net, whatever it takes tonight. He doesn't want to have a 1-point game again.
They trailed, I believe, 11-5 or 11-6, and now Billy White. He's going to go coast to coast here, folks. Cash money.
That's another turnover by Forte. That is probably his.
I got the bench going for the Express, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at Forte, though, that is his Achilles heel, is the turnovers, taking care of the ball.
Somewhat shocked that there was no timeout called after that last dunk by Billy White. Blowing a tire here is Jordan Jensen White, but they're going to say it went off of Tejada last.
Yeah, I think it went off his leg, I think. A couple substitutions coming in here. Forte's going out. Jermaine Haley's coming back in.
For Jermaine Haley, again, we've just credited this guy. He keeps growing and growing, and you know, I feel like he hasn't reached the peak of his potential yet and has the rest of the 2022 season to do so.
Yes, and I'm not sure. To me, I've said it for the last 3 or 4 games, they need to feature Jermaine Haley a little bit more. He needs to have a little more license to score. He's playing great defense. He always rebounds well. He passes the ball terrific. But on offense, I find that he sometimes defers a little too much.
Tejada with the handoff from White. Kicks it out for the wing 3. I don't even know if that glanced the rim.
Well, he got bothered, contested by Jermaine Haley, the one we're just talking about, right? Good recovery, so no easy look.
And as a result, Jordan Befford, who's making his Windsor Express debut, misses his first shot attempt from downtown. Now, he has actually played in this league for the basketball league with the Dayton Flight. And as a result of his 40-plus point performance in that game, the Windsor Express said, yeah, why don't you come here and play for us?
Yeah, that was a huge scoring game for sure.
Billy White,
it was just one game.
Leading everybody on the court right now with 8 points. His pass is deflected from Amir Williams. It'll maintain into Express possession.
Express are up by 2. You look at the pace of the game, and it's sort of a little bit choppy, right? And I think that really favors Windsor at the moment.
Coming into the game now is Tanner Stuckman. I mentioned this in the previous broadcast for the forward that comes in at 6'9" out of Quincy, Illinois. He played for his hometown Quincy. That's an NCAA 2 school. Started 86 of 98 games, over 2,600 minutes of court time, and 1,260 points as a result.
He played significant minutes last game. This is our first look at him tonight.
So Brown in the corner puts up the 3, in and out. Thomas on the board. Being harassed, though, up the court, and why not? Jordan Befford showing off some defense. It won't bother Thomas, or does it? Because he banks this one off the window wide.
Anticipating a little more contact, I think. He's going off too strong.
Yeah, Lance Tejada doing his best. Eli Manning in person. Fucks this one over everyone.
That would have been a throw out of play. So what are you saying about Eli Manning, man? 2-time MVP, is he not, in the Super Bowl?
2-time Super Bowl. I don't know. Let's not get into that. That Super Bowl specifically against the Patriots cost me so much money. Now the Express, by the way, are leading in this game in the first quarter.
That's
something
what I said. They're up by 2.
I didn't expect to see here this afternoon.
And the rhythm of this game is really disruptive to London's offense.
By the way, in that 99-84 loss at the odd against the KW Titans, the Windsor Express never tasted the lead. They trailed by as much as 16 points for the majority of the third quarter, John. Now numbers the other way. It is the visitors. Quinnell Brown, stop, pop, and lock it. No.
A wide open look. Oh, Windsor's probably groaning at their percentage of shooting. They've had some open looks.
Haley, it's a magician's pass, and Tate caps it off.
And Tate just raced to the corner, waited patiently with his feet set, and he just had everything in his form ready to shoot that ball. Beautiful behind the back pass by Haley.
Yeah, do you believe in magic? Wow, wizardry. So now there's about, well, we'll say 12 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Trying to attack the rack from outside. No, he's just going to put up the floater. It's Devontae Pratt, by the way. This shot also won't go for Befford, and with 9 seconds left, London should have the final shot of the quarter, up by 1. Tate zigzagging his way up, takes the contact from Malik Miller, and will go to the line.
He just had him in no man's land, the big man. Tate coming down on him. Did a great job to draw the foul as well.
So Bill Jones, the head coach of the Windsor Express, owner, has like a secondary unit out there right now when you consider Befford's out there, along with Stuckman and Malik Miller. So resting up Billy White. Although Quinnell Brown is still out there, to a point partner.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, how many minutes he played the other night as well. With the added, well, I'm just going to say he just is in great shape, is right.
So again, at the line right now, it's Tate. 39 minutes, 11 points. He was 5 of 6 from the free throw line in that 108-105 victory against Sudbury. But more importantly, dishing out the dimes, the apples, whatever you want to call them, they're assists. He's got 10 of them. And 7 rebounds. 3 shy of a triple-double for the Chicago native. Amir Williams trying to make it well. Were they playing volleyball down there for the final second?
Well, they got some offensive rebounds, but yes, no, it did not convert. And up by 2 for London at the end of the first quarter.
Billy White leads everybody on the court right now with 8 points. He's 4 of 7 from the field. Retaliating for the Lightning, it's JAYLON Tate with 6 points. But if you are the Windsor Express, as I mentioned at the top of our broadcast, entering with a 2-6 record, they have yet to pick up a victory against an NBLC opponent in 2022, John. Not a bad start here on the road.
I think Windsor's maybe started off cold shooting and still aren't shooting really that well yet, but they are disrupting London's offense big time.
Yeah, they're
7 turnovers for London Lightning in the first quarter. Do that times 4, it's 20 turnovers again. What is the average that you want to have in a game? It ain't 28, it ain't 25 like last game. It should be 12 to 14 turnovers will be a normal pace of a game. More than double.
Minus 17 in the points off of turnovers in the 108-105 victory in the last game against Sudbury. So far here tonight, though, despite having the 7-2 turnover ratio, it's 4-3 points off of turnovers, not as bad.
No, but the shooting percentage is poor for both teams.
Yeah, 2 of 9 from downtown for the Windsor Express. Let's face it, if they just made one more of those shots, they have a lead after the first quarter of play.
Oh, only 5 attempts by London. London's struggling to get some good-looking shots off as well. I'll give credit to Windsor's defense. Even though London is dominating the boards, doesn't seem to convert into points so far.
I know you've been a lot of March Madness basketball as of late, John. This has more of a collegiate scoreboard after the first quarter of play.
A little bit when you're talking Villanova maybe and Houston, well, those low-scoring games.
How about the Peacocks making history from St. Peter's, the first 15 seed to make the Elite 8, and to make it even more interesting, John, they did it on National Peacock Day.
I know, that's awesome. And who do you think would have picked the Peacocks?
Well, I did that night, and my wallet's thankful.
That night. Who picked it before the tournament, though?
Oh, yeah, you do have like a grandson.
I got
or
a 3-year-old grandson that picked the Peacocks. That's unbelievable.
Now, again, though, you just take the kid's finger and he points to the sheet.
No,
How does that work?
we read the names with their monikers, so, so whatever,
so he liked the
Bulldogs. He liked the Peacocks, I couldn't stop picking them. He picked them all the way to the final, so who knows? They might get there for all we know, the Peacocks.
Going off of the names of the teams, that's something the bookies love.
Yes.
17-15 is the score for the London Lightning. Again, this is the annual Purple Game, Shine the Light. Thanks for tuning in here to NBLC TV, brought to you by Cujo Entertainment. He's John Van Halling, and I am Jonathan Banowitz. We're happy to take you through potential NBLC history again, John, as the London Lightning are trying to go to 11-0. That would tie a league and franchise record back from 2012-13, where they started off 11-0. Oh, yeah. They went off to win the championship that year to pull a Joe Carter and go back-to-back.
Well, I think for Coach Doug Plum, and talking to him before the game, adversity isn't a bad thing. It's when your good habits come through and you overcome the adversity. But when you win easily, you can easily develop bad habits as well. So last game, what was the bad habit? Turning the ball over. Adversity tonight, what's the bad habit? Turning the ball over. To me, that's going to be a problem all year if they don't clean it up.
By the way, we haven't seen him join the game just yet, but we got to give a huge congratulations to Mr. Abednego Lufiel, because why, John? As there, Terry Thomas, it's going to count at the end one. The ball toileted it around and almost fooled us for a second there, but it drops for the Canadian for Nova Scotia.
Good, strong move. I didn't think he was going to reach it from where his takeoff point was. What? Good ups on that. Let's have a look at that one.
But yeah, going back to Mr. Lufiel, there's a Mrs. Lufiel now. Congratulations, Abednego, on getting married between now and the last game. By the way, the pictures on social media, every couple looks good when they get married. Yeah. But they look like a power couple, I'll tell you that much.
Here's
like a
that
Hollywood
big
couple.
Dunk. Oh, my goodness.
Does that count as a dunk?
That's a dunk.
I don't know if that
he
counts
had
as
the
a
ball
dunk.
above the rim.
Yeah, and the ball stayed above the rim as he landed.
Still
That's not a dunk.
That's a dunk.
No. That's a dunk. Come on, John.
Okay, good move by Forte again, giving the ball up early. Tried to limit the turnovers.
Haley
Big
cross-court to Tate.
pass.
Forte. And one.
That's his strength down there, right? That's his forte, if you honor. You know
I was
going to
chirp you and ask you if that was a dunk, too.
That was not a dunk. No.
11:18 remains before the halftime break, and Forte, again, this is the guy that is a double-double machine, folks, coming off of 25 points and 10 rebounds in his last game. Oh, yeah, 44 points, 18 rebounds in the last game against the Windsor Express. Out of those 18 boards, by the way, John, 15 were on the defensive side. And one's good.
Yeah, and he's good at the foul line as well, as we see from the shooting percentage last game. I think 5 for 5 last game.
Yeah, 5 for 5, not bad. Now, remember the last game against the Windsor Express, though, he was 2 of 5 from the line. Well, going 21 of 27 from the field to pour in 44. Tahara floats through the air and kisses the window. London trying to push the pace the other way, almost like a receiver-like pass.
Early three-point shot. Oh,
Jones
stepped into it. I do think London does need to pick up the pace a little bit more, to be honest with you. This choppy pace is in favor of Windsor, I believe.
Those you keep close will hurt you the most. I imagine for Bill Jones, he's kind of, itching when he sees Chris Jones hit a three against his team. Not seeing any options, so he puts up the shot as Quinnell Brown, and Haley gets Jolie, and, well, the ball's going in London's favor.
See, that's another little thing that, as a coach, you really appreciate. Like, how did that foul happen, Johnny? It's because Haley got his position underneath the boards, even though the guy is 3-4 inches bigger and outweighs him by 50 pounds. He's got position, and he draws the foul. It's the little things like that that's going to win you these games.
Haley played 7 G League games for the Grand Rapids Gold after 2 seasons at West Virginia, where he started 54 of 66 games. Before signing with the London Lightning, he played for the Harco Merlins in Germany, just 8 games, averaging 18.1 minutes of court time. Quinnell Brown puts it up, gets fouled. He'll head to the line. His team, by the way, trailing here by 8. John, a run to start off the second quarter. 8-2 for Doug Plum's crew.
Yep, they're doing paces plays a little bit quicker, right? So it's catching Windsor by surprise on defense. Already a couple fouls. That was a good look that time and a good wait by Billy White to wait for Quinnell Brown to come down the lane. He draws the foul for the foul shot.
Billy White still stuck at 8 points, 4 of 7 to start this game. First shot rattles around pretty much the rim and eventually goes down for Mr. Brown. I mentioned this earlier about Brown. I mean, just a veteran of this league. Entered this season specifically with 69 games played in the National Basketball League of Canada, spanning across 7 seasons. Entering this particular game, John, 2,846 points in this league. Trying to join Terry Thomas in that 3,000-point plateau.
Well, like Doug Plum said, he is a beast. And talking about Doug Plum before the game, I didn't know his mother was Dutch. Markie van der Linden. I said to him, I'll do a shout out to her in Dutch. He said, who is? Ja, heb een leuke son. Heel leuk. Hoop Holland.
Forte picking it off the window. No wooden shoes needed here as they get the points on the board. By the way, is the Netherlands qualified for the World Cup?
Absolutely. They ran the table in their group. They're one of the top seeds. They're 10th in the world ranked.
Well,
like I said, let's go orange.
Italy, unfortunately, won't be there.
Oranje.
Amir Williams, another board. Not the blocks that we saw, the franchise record-setting 8 in the last game, as a power move from Jones.
You called that right. That was a power dribble and a power move at the smallest guy in the court. In the middle of a forest, he puts it in.
And as a result, the run continues here to start off the second quarter of play. It's a 12-4 one now.
Yes, they're getting, would you say they're getting, at this last 2-3 minutes, getting run off the floor? If the pace of play is this kind of pace of play, it's going to be London all night long.
And I hate to say this, John, but this is something we have seen time and time again here at Budweiser Gardens, with the exception of the last game against the Sudbury 5. The majority of the time here, during the perfection so far in 2022, teams come out guns a-blazing. It's a neck-and-neck affair over the first 12 minutes, and then we see London start to pull away on the track as they sprint the next 3 quarters.
I agree with you totally. I'm going to give full credit to Sudbury the other night for making that such a competitive game. Without their leading scorer, Jalen Bland, and Edo Someone, their big center, being suspended for a game, they're down 2. And they had 4 players foul out of the game, and they still made it a 3-point game.
Yeah, actually not 1, not 2, but 3 players fouled out with a combined 18 personal fouls. Marcel White was ejected from the game in the third quarter of the play.
3 foul and 1 ejected, that's right.
And actually, speaking with some of the London Lightning products on the court, I don't know what happened there. I was like, okay, just typical lip service. The official said, okay, knock it off. And guess what? He didn't knock it off, so the official said, get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. They're full right to do that as well.
It's a 10-point lead for the Lightning. Now, if there's anybody that could sort of hemorrhage the bleeding, so to speak, John, it would be Bill Jones. Over 9 seasons with the Winsor Express, over 100 career wins in this league. Oh yeah, just like the London Lightning, he's won 2 consecutive back-to-back championships in the National Basketball League of Canada.
Absolutely. He's good pedigree here. Somewhere, somehow, Billy White has been taken out of this quarter so far by London Lightning. He's still at 8 points. Hardly any shots this quarter.
No shots. Yeah, he was 4 of 7 over the first quarter of play.
That's
He's still
right.
at that marker
London
now.
has made a great adjustment in denying Billy White any kind of an offense.
Well, he inbounds the ball now. We'll see if he goes to work with Devontae Pratt out there as well. For Devontae Pratt, he had 14 points, going 5 of 10 from the field, 0 for 2 from downtown over 23 minutes in that 15-point loss to Kitchener-Waterloo. Loses Haley, gives it to White, trying to power his way around Forte.
That was an intentional play by Winsor at the timeout there. We need to get Billy White involved here. Again, Cameron Forte arguing with Rich Stellick, our referee. Again, that's sometimes, to me, that is too much talking already. And it builds up during a game, and the ref's patience is going to run out.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one thing to voice your concerns with the officials and, tell your side of the story. But, sometimes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Other times, John, the squeaky wheel gets removed.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's oil, isn't it? I think it's oil. Come on, I'm just trying to stay true to our aphorism or similes or metaphors here. Come on.
Did you get the metaphor?
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. Yes. Sometimes it does reward, but most of the time it will backfire, like you said.
I feel like I'm an airplane pilot sometimes up here, just flying right over you. 9 minutes remains before halftime, and as a result, it's an 8-point lead, John. London controlling the second quarter after a neck-and-neck affair in the first. I feel like I've said this before.
Yeah, Winsor needs to adjust.
Forte kicks it up to Jones. The three's away. It won't go. Bounces out of bounds.
That was a good look. That was a good sequence of play and passes as well. Another good look.
Now remember, Jermaine Haley started off this game with a 3 ball. He's 1 of 2. Jones made his first 3 ball. He's now 1 of 3. And Tay made his first 3 ball. He's 1 of 2.
Well, let's keep reminding our audience and anybody that's watching this game, like, what is a good percentage for 3-pointers? 35% is great shooting.
Forte doing his best boxer impersonation. That looked like a liver shot, but instead it went right to Mr. Spalding, and the ball shoots out of bounds.
Okay.
If he missed with that punch, that
would have hurt, eh? Yes.
Hurt. That's right. And Billy White would not have appreciated that. I mentioned this in a previous broadcast, 4 seasons at San Diego State, including 2011. Why is 2011 San Diego State? Why does that ring a bell so much?
I do. One
The
of my
Claw.
favorite players is the Claw. Anybody doesn't know who the Claw is, that's Kawhi Leonard. Helped the Raptors to a championship a couple of years ago.
By the way, they were showing one of the steals he had late in the Clippers game the other night, and man, they literally, it was the Claw. He reached right over the guy, grabbed the ball in his hand, and went the other way with it. Oh, and some Clippers-like news to bring in a perfect transition. For London Lightning, Xavier Moon has signed a 2-way deal with the LA Clippers. He's already made his NBA debut earlier this year absolutely killing it in the G League for the Clippers Associated squad. And as a result, hard work pays off.
Yes, and we well remember him here. So he's off the 10-day trial and to the two-way contract. So he's with the Clippers, is right.
The moon goes from the Budweiser Gardens to the stars of LA as the floater's good from the BC native Jermaine Haley.
That was a floater fadeaway in the corner, no less. That's the toughest shot in basketball.
Now Lance Tejada trying to mix things up for his team right now. Billy White just pulls this away by inches from Jones. Tried to reverse it. It won't go. He wants a call out of Amir Williams. That's not going to happen.
I think he's more frustrated himself than a call against Williams. That's 2 or 3 easy puppies. He's made a conscious effort to go inside.
Jones was heading straight for your favorite advertisement here at baseline, and he just put on the brakes and avoided the cameraman down there too.
I'm not talking about him tonight. So.
Well, again, 40-plus minutes every game. I was going to say is every game. Spin move from Jordan Jensen.
He had the mismatch, and like his 3-on-3 pedigree, he just bullied him right down to the block.
I actually asked him pregame, what's the difference between 3-on-3 and 5-on-5? I thought there'd be, more speed, more real estate as Billy White hits this dagger from downtown. He's now 1 of 2 from the downtown district. But yeah, he's actually saying there's not much of a difference as far as your actual basketball IQ and the moves that you have to make. And actually, we've seen it, especially on that last play. Didn't matter if there's 5 or 3 guys on the court, the same move works.
I think the only thing is you don't have as much time to think on a 3-on-3 court because you got less than half a court to play with. And transition is so quick.
Yeah, actually, to that point, that is something that he mentioned and seen it pay off in spades in this league. The ability to get back on defense in a heartbeat. Something that him, as well as Amir Williams, we've got to give top credit to be able to. There's times the ball's completely on the left side of the court, John. And next thing you know, these guys are on the other end of the court somehow.
I agree.
Faster than your eyes can pan over. It's crazy.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
That's right. So, Billy White, get off of me, Haley. And Haley continues to give him a little bit of a jab with that right arm. Hey, checking him. Well, the official goes, you know what? That's 1 too many for my liking.
Well, and I know what Billy White's doing there. He's trying to bait him into a foul, and he did that time. But the offensive guy cannot slap the defensive arm away either if it's a legitimate defensive move. He can get called for that. So I'll sort of hold my breath when Billy White swatted at his arm.
Now, the only argument I would make there, though, partner, was Haley was initiating the contact, though. So is he allowed to do that? Or is, like you said, he has to make a defensive move first, and then Billy White can't slap his hand out of the way?
Well, I didn't hear a whistle, right? So it was obviously not illegal what Haley was doing.
Yeah, because he let about 2 or 3 hand checks go, and then eventually I guess he got, wrist deep in the cookie jar.
You can put your hand there, but you can't. What you can't do is put force on the offensive player, like direct them where to go. That is with your outstretched hand. You can do it with a bent elbow, no problem. But now with your outstretched hand and sort of direct where the offensive guy is going.
And again, this is the annual Purple Game. Shine the light here at Budweiser Gardens. All the proceeds to this game going to the London Abused Women's Shelter. And as well as I mentioned it before, too, they're going to auction off these jerseys that the London Lightning are wearing on the court right now post-game. And again, all the proceeds from those donations will also go over to the Women's Abuse Center here in London, Ontario.
A bit of a low-scoring game, I would say, based on where we are in the second quarter. I don't even know if we're going to make it to 50 points this quarter.
Oh, here I am mentioning that after the first quarter. You went, yeah. Well, it's happening. It's a collegiate scoreboard today. I think everybody's maybe everybody partied a little too hard on their Saturday night.
No, I don't think so. I think that defensive intensity has picked up a little bit on both sides.
I'll give you that.
Would you say that the game's getting a little more physical? It looks like it that way to me as well. London's still dominating on the boards, but they had a run there, and ever since that run, and it really hasn't moved the metrics of this game.
Amir Williams had 3 blocks in the opening quarter of play in that last game, en route to making a franchise record of 8, beating out the previous record of 7 by Elvin Mims. So far in this game, with 6:49 left in the second quarter, John, they say there's only 1 block between these two teams, and that goes to London. And it's probably Amir Williams. So 6:49, get your lottery tickets. The inbound is here, and now Billy White will try and back down ice him. Nope, instead he's going to kick it out to Quinnell Brown. What can Brown do for you? Well, he's got an iffy backhand pass to Billy White, who's trying to go after ice him now. Native getting back down. White puts up the arcing shot. It won't go. Shot clock violation as that hit the backboard and not the rim.
I really noticed White's really trying to force his way inside, trying to draw fouls, but it seems to be taken away from his game is what it seems to be doing.
And you were wondering, how does a guy in 19 minutes of court time pick up 6 personal fouls? And I kind of, without even seeing the tape, I said, well, if he's driving hard in the paint and he's not getting the calls his way, they're charges. Those accumulate on you early. It's going to lead to a rough day at the office.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised he's not trying to shoot the ball a little bit more, to be honest with you.
So Tate fed by Thomas, gets it back to Thomas, puts up the 3, it won't go. Marcus Anderson, again, a former Carleton Raven, 4 national championships.
Oh, yes, I remember him.
And by the way, he was also the 3rd overall pick by the Guelph Nighthawks in the 2020 CEBL draft. Aaron Pass off of Jolie goes into the luxury seats.
Good call, Aaron Pass. And luckily for Windsor, didn't lead to an easy turnover and run out for Windsor, or for London.
And I mentioned this in the previous broadcast. Marcus Anderson, pretty good genetics. Dad Everton Anderson was running the 100 and 200 meter sprints, competing for Canada internationally.
Wow.
6 minutes to go before the halftime break. Let's see if the offense starts to light up like a powder keg here, or if it continues at this pace we're seeing. But as John Van Houwelingen would throw out, maybe in Dutch for us, it is the tortoise, not the hare, always that wins the race. So this will not go from the bottom of the basket.
Oh, sorry, I caught the reference, and I'll get back to you on the Dutch part there. Don't worry. If I start talking to you in Dutch,
Dutch
you don't know
translation.
what I'm saying,
That's right. I want to know.
But
there's got to be some Dutch.
Here we go. Williams of the Erkesterke Vent.
Perfect.
He's a really strong guy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, there's got to be Dutch folklore that we could throw in here with some analogies and stuff. Amir Williams, shot is good. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Free throws are going to be so crucial. London shot 80% in their last game, although they shot 72.4% against Windsor back on March 13th. No love the second time, and a fellow 23 and Billy White pulls away the board. And up the court now is Lance Tejada. As I mentioned, 12 points, 3 of 17 from the field in his last game. John, not trying to chirp, but I think I could go 3 of 17.
Well, I'm surprised Billy White's not shooting the ball more. I really do. Like, he was somewhat open on that three-point shot, but they've got a plan here, does Windsor, for their offense, but it's not working for them.
White and Isom collided. The Texas big pulls away with it for Tate. Splits the defenders. Blocked from behind by Miller.
Good follow by Miller that time. Good idea by Tate to try to draw a foul again.
It was either Miller or Anderson. He was met by an express sandwich there beneath the basket. Regardless, it'll be Tate from the end line. With 19 seconds left on the shot clock, Amir Williams gets called. Nobody can believe it.
I think it's a holding foul. When Jensen cut across, he held his man, then released, right? Because the play was setting up to him.
Okay, but it's Amir Williams continuing to plead his case with the official going back up the court in Mr. Caparici.
You got a hand on his jersey. The official thinks you're holding him, right?
Right. As a result, London, well, they still have the 8-point lead. I love when teams do that. Roll the ball up the court. Why? Well, the clock doesn't officially start until you pick up possession. Ooh, I said it earlier before, Aaron Pass. Well, this one was just a little too picante to handle that time. And again, he's making his debut right now for the Windsor Express. It's Jordan Befford. You talked about it before we went on the air. A lot of high hopes behind this guy because during his time with the Dayton Flight, he had a 40-plus point game. But again, the Dayton Flight also came to Windsor, I believe, in that contest with 6 guys crossing the board.
Yeah, so he had lots of opportunity with the ball as well. But you still got to convert, right?
That's true.
To put him in.
I believe Windsor won by 35-plus points in that game. Jones getting away from Anderson, steps back to Williams. Crosses over to the near side to Haley. Down low to Forte. Forte backing down. Billy White rolls it in.
All night long, all night long. White doesn't want to get in foul trouble, and Forte's in his favorite spot in the house.
Using some speed up the near side now. And trying to, well, set everything up is the aforementioned Jordan Befford. Pass to Flex off of Thomas. Now it's Jones trying to take advantage. Steps around Anderson and gets it down.
It's a little unfair to Bedford, right? Because he just got signed this morning, I believe, according to what we heard in the transcripts. No practice time, no play time with his team. No idea what his teammates are doing.
Miller had the pass go through him. Was lucky Anderson was behind him to take it in. Billy White, I thought they was going to take the 3 there. And you mentioned the hesitation early. Seems to be prevalent here. Haley to Terry Thomas. Open three. Beckett. Well, I said it. He's making me eat my words. In the pregame warm-up, like I said, he could have built a brick house, a very sturdy one that the big bad wolf wouldn't be able to blow over. Yet in this game, he's not so bad. He's now 2 of 3 from downtown.
Well, get all your bad shots out in practice, right?
I guess so. I guess that's the logic behind it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
As a result, London now leads by 15 points.
And all of a sudden, right, it's 2 runs, right? The 8-point run, and then Winsor held their own in that they didn't let London score, but they didn't score. And then another run, and Winsor didn't score again.
Yeah, London started off this quarter, remember, just with a 1-point lead, and they started off with an 8-2 run, and it eventually swelled to a 12-4 run before Winsor sort of shook off the cobwebs momentarily. And I think this all goes back to what we were saying before. Billy White was 4 of 7 from the field going into this quarter. He's now 5 of 10. Sure, he's got 13 points to lead everybody on the court. But, John, he's going to need a little more secondary offense from a Quinnell Brown or a Marcus Anderson, who combined have just 8 points so far.
Yeah, only 2 attempts from 3 for Billy White. To me, he's had some open looks that I think he's tall and he can shoot over defenders. His team's going to need that from him.
Billy White attended Miami Heat training camp all the way back in 2011. In fact, he played for the Iowa Wolves. And during his 4 years at San Diego State, partner, he was a 2018 Mountain West Freshman of the Year and All-Conference third-team member.
Nice. Another thing I noticed for London also, only 1 turnover this quarter as well. So not only
They've been listening to you.
Well, not listening to me, but I think their coach has been harping on it. I know that for sure in the pregame interview.
Well, don't all great coaches think alike?
Maybe.
Yeah, you got to chew on that one, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not putting myself in the league of Doug Plum, though, so.
Anderson! Oh, I was getting roll the Ringley Brothers music if he made that one. That was a circus-like shot, but no love off the rim.
Well, Jones was pushing him hard, and he decided that he was willing to accept the contact, and Jones didn't back down.
Again, bulldog, bulldog, bulldog. That's all he can do to describe Chris Jones, not just with the 40-plus minutes he pours in every single game for Doug Plum, but again, I wish we could do an over-under on how many times he's going to hit the deck over the course of the game, because it's 3+ easy.
Oh, I think it's more like a half a dozen plus.
Well, he couldn't get love off the rim on the shot attempt, but he's going to get it here from the charity stripe as Anderson's good. And by the way, we mentioned again the 5 years at Carleton, but I forgot to mention he was a U Sports and an OUA Defensive Player of the Year on 2 consecutive seasons for 2018 and 19. You know, it's difficult to
I was going to ask you what years he played, because I remember watching him play. I believe 1 year was up in out Halifax where they traditionally held it, and 1 year was up in Ryerson the one time they had it in Ryerson.
Ryerson's a beautiful facility. You can thank the taxpayers for that one. As Jones fakes the 3, Terry Thomas kicks it out to Tate. Too much muscle. Loose change rolls to Miller, and in turn, Billy White's going to push it up the court. By 13 points. Anybody that's going to get him back in it, though, is White, who currently leads the team with 13 of his own.
I'm just looking at the London stats. There's not a single player in double figures yet for London Lightning, but they're leading this game by 13 points.
Here's White. You want him to get more aggressive, and he does, and he rolls this one in.
Yeah, that's been his MO tonight, trying to get to the hoop, and it hasn't paid off much for him. He missed some easy ones, got a couple fouls, but I think he just needs to shoot more.
And despite his team, as Tate gets this one to drop, losing 123-104 the last time here at Budweiser Gardens, it was Billy White still pouring in a huge double-double performance in 37 minutes of court time. 23 points, 16 rebounds. He was 12 of 15 from the free throw line in that game.
Yes.
So Quinnell Brown, oh man, a little too crafty, and it rolls out of bounds on him. So Winsor, if I could just throw this at you right now, what is the major difference here in the second quarter compared to the first quarter where, again, Winsor was staying mono-y-mono?
Well, they're not matching the offense for London. So London's did a 8-0 streak, no points for Winsor. And then Winsor held London down. Okay, we scored a couple, and then another 8-0 streak. And that's really what's the difference in this game. Otherwise, it's an evenly played game for other than those two really 2 or 3 minute stretches that Winsor just could not stop London.
Bend the harm.
Nice and tough to saw the lane. He did a JAYLON Tate move, right? Take it all the way to the hoop.
18 points and 3 assists over 31 minutes last game for the Texas native. He was 4 of 4 from the charity stripe where he's heading right now.
And he shot 60% from the field, I noticed as well.
And I actually asked him about that pregame. You know, statistically, it looked like one of your best games so far, Lightning uniform. And again, that's where he was responding, hey, if they need me to get points, I'll get points. If they need me to play defense, I'll play defense. Whatever the team needs me to do to pull out the victory.
Very versatile player and does different roles for London.
Now, he had an opportunity there, John. I don't know why in the world Devontae Pratt didn't just go after the basket. Now it's Haley the other way, spinning it around, playing the Wrigley music.
And that came off. You talking about Isom. He did the block on the big guy. Fast break for Haley. And a whoop-de-doop-de-doo shot up, and in it went.
Yeah, where's the peanuts and the elephants and the clowns? I mean, that was a pure shot. It drops. Look at the arc on that thing. You know, that's the kind of thing Steph Curry does when he's just messing around in warm-ups.
But it all started down here with who you were talking about, Isom. He did the block on the big guy down there, and that led to the fast break.
And then looking like pops out of the backfield, just charging up the right side of the block was Haley, and he caps off the play. Now can he cap off the N1? Yes.
Soft touch. Wow, this is almost a 20-point game.
Man, the back rims in this place get a lot of work when we do these games, I noticed. It's always the back of the rim getting hammered. Forte pulling away the loose rock. Forte, after Stuckman, he'll draw a foul out of the Quincy, Illinois native.
He probably should have gave the ball up in the corner, though. I think Haley was sprinting to the corner for a wide open three. I would have given the ball up. He did draw the foul, and they are in a penalty, so he's going to the foul line. And he is a good shooter, but he sort of went into double traffic. And that's one thing Doug Plum says. Sometimes just got his head down and goes to the hoop. He should really kick the ball out to one of his teammates for a better look.
He was 2 of 5 from the charity stripe in his last game against the Express. He makes this one, and now he's 2 of 2. Team now has a 20-point lead with a $1:45 before the halftime break. I wondered if London was going to get to the 50-point plateau in the first half.
I did too, personally, after that very slow start.
But not only have they got their offense cooking, they've sort of brick-walled their defense as Winsor pretty much can't get anything going here in the second quarter of play. Again, they were trailing 17-15. My bad. They were actually trailing by 2 points, not 1. But so far in this quarter, London has doubled up their offense. They have 34 points, and Windsor's hold serve with another 15. It's not good enough.
And look who's not on the floor. Billy White.
Speaking of 15, Quinnell Brown puts this shot up and can't get love off the rim. And Billy White, to your point, has 15 points.
And even though I say that, like that, you're going to look at the stats, right? He's got 15 points in the first half, and he's doing really good. But personally, I think they need more from him. They really do. This team does in this particular time.
Well, it's funny. You said he needed 30 to give his team a chance. He's keeping on that pace, John. He's got 15 in the first half, but as we're still seeing, he can pour in all the points he wants. He has to have the rest of the 9 guys that joined him in an Express uniform do something as well.
He does. You're absolutely right.
Shots away, and it's good. So, again, what we were talking about with free throws, they got to do a lot of that in the second half. Get to the free throw line and make them. Again, the last game for the Windsor Express, well, they only made 62.2% of their shots from the charity stripe. Amir Williams, hand down. Well, not man down, as, again, the ball won't go down. As Tanner Stuckman just gave Amir Williams, the former Ohio State Buckeye, open real estate. 1:04 remains before the halftime break. The newest Express member, Bedford, into the corner to Stuckman. In lieu to Pratt. Devontae Pratt, 14 points, was 5 of 10 from the field in the last game against the Titans. Quinnell Brown, watched by Isom. Goes into the key, puts up the shot as the shot clock expires. It was Thomas and Isom kind of playing keep away with each other. Eventually, London holds the ball.
And Plum is urging his team to push the ball up the floor as quickly as they can.
Amir Williams after Malik Miller. He's hacked.
Well, maybe he can stay with him strength-wise, Miller can, but he certainly can't keep him foot-wise. And Johnson just bullied his way to the hoop again. That's a great 1-2 point punch with London Lightning, with Cameron Forte, Amir Williams, but they're two different styles as well, right? One big and strong, one very crafty. Both play inside.
And to your point, when you're playing defense against both of them at the same time, it makes it even more difficult to know, well, what do you do to which?
Exactly.
By the way, Malik Miller, forward and center, 6'9", 220, out of Troy, New York. Has played his postgraduate basketball at Mercerburg, but that's after he played, well, 3 seasons for the FDU Knights. Under 30 seconds to go, a 21-point lead for the home side. Again,
I don't know where Windsor are going to get their offense from. I really don't.
Well, this one won't help as it's in and out. Devontae Pratt got his own board back, but they're going to say jump ball. His basket won't count. And to make matters worse, the possession goes to London. Oh,
Just
no.
enough possession for Ref Stellick to say that was a double hole long enough for
Nothing's going right for him, partner.
No, it certainly is not this second quarter anyway. First quarter, they were battling hard, but this second quarter, they've been run off the floor, basically.
13 to go now here in the first half of play. London with a 21-point lead. JAYLON Tate looking to add to it, tries after the basket and rolls it off the back of the rim. Tate picks himself off the hardwood. The buzzer goes. And just like that, after the first half of play, it's 55-32 in favor of the London Lightning. Man, oh man, the Windsor Express came out of this game, you know, like a bulldog. I'm saying that.
But it's so true. Did you not see it in the NCAA? 25 points back Baylor came from. Forced it into overtime, right? And they lost, but they were down 25 points at a collegiate level.
And we saw Sudbury earlier this season against the Windsor Express come back from 21 points down in the third quarter.
That's my point. So this third quarter is going to be key, though. You can't leave it all to the fourth quarter.
Billy White couldn't get the first one to go, but sort of punched at it and goes off the square and in.
Yeah, he's trying to really assert himself inside.
And again, he led the Express in the first half point-wise with 15. Now he's got 17 so far in the great pass from Tate to Haley. Swings it out to Amir Williams. It's good.
I don't know. Amir Williams can't get an easier basket than that. It came right into his bread basket. My goodness, what a great pass.
A handful of Lightning products in the last game were in triple-double conversations. JAYLON Tate, Chris Jones, and Amir Williams with his franchise setting and blocks. In the first half of play, there are numerous Lightning products in double conversations, as the floater this time from Tejada is good. But again, Tate is in that conversation with 7 dimes so far, as well as Amir Williams with his 8 rebounds. And you just know the double-double machine, Cameron Forte, just needs 5 more boards for another fix.
He'll probably get that if he gets some playing time, absolutely. London really trying to pick up the pace there after that made basket. I don't know if you saw that. But Jermaine Haley racing up the sideline. The ball comes.
Well, even when they were up 21 points in the dying half of the second quarter, Doug Plum was screaming at him to, get it in high gear.
He wants to establish a style of play with them, right? That they play at all times. Doesn't matter what the score is. This is the way we want to play all the time.
Trying to run Windsor right out of the Forest City here on the hardwood.
That's exactly right. And it's not necessarily picking on Windsor. It's just that's what he wants his team identity to be.
Well, and again, I didn't mince words at the top of our broadcast. I'm not going to start now, partner. Is Forte. That won't count if it had gone, although it would have looked cool. But this is first versus worst. The team in the bottom of the standings at 2-6, taking the team at the top of the standings at 10-0. But again, we mentioned it. Those are the games where the guys that are undefeated can somewhat fall asleep behind the wheel and play down to their opponent.
And that's why Coach Plum on the sidelines urging him to speed it up, because that's what he's looking for all year long. I want to play fast until the defense is back, and then we'll get our set offense going.
Jones had 7 points in the first half. Are they going to say Forte got too aggressive?
They did, yes.
So for Forte, that'll be a second personal foul of the game.
Again, he's talking to the ref, but we'll see where that all goes. The ref's explaining it to him, and now let's see what the response is from Forte. Well, he backs off.
That's what you want.
Which is good. Yep, exactly. I like that piece of refereeing there as well.
Unlike Marcel White for the Sudbury 5 in our last game here at Budweiser Gardens, where the official said knock it off, and he had to get one more word in there, and the official said, well, hit the shower. Tejada, open 3, book it.
I mean, it didn't look great, but they need that kind of offense. And wherever it's coming from, and whoever contributed that, you get an open look, take it.
They only made 5 of 24 from downtown in the last game for 20.8% as Forte underneath the basket gets it to go.
Tate was so patient to wait for Forte to get that man advantage size-wise, and just a beautiful little toss pass over the defender.
Although I'll say this, Rudolph Jolie 6'10", and Cameron Forte 6'7". As Quinnell Brown hits the bottom of the rim, shoots a glare back at the official, and Cale Detroit not getting a call. Forte, we saw this all over the second half in the last game against the Express. Can't get the luck this time. Quinnell Brown coasts it in.
He's so smooth, eh?
And even after he made that last one, I think he had a comment for the official about the previous play.
Okay.
So the lead's down to 18. Remember, Windsor was trailing by 23 at the halftime break. Tate zigzags around to Haley in the corner. Give and go with Amir Williams. By the way, Amir Williams still rocking the A on his jersey because remember, London started off the season with 2 Williams, Raheem and Amir.
Yeah, that's
Raheem's
right.
been cut. I wonder if they'll cut the A off the back of the jersey. Tejada to Jolie. I mentioned it. Played a season here for the London Lightning. Got into 20 games. Didn't start in any contests, though. Another corner three. It's a splashdown from Anderson.
They need, like I said, they need the quick hitters to get themselves back in any kind of way, shape in this game. They cannot allow Williams to get down to the end of the floor first in an established position that time. Jolie behind the big man, Amir Williams.
Yeah, Amir Williams, and we mentioned this before about Jordan Jensen-White. They seem to have this ability to be on one end of the court, you blink your eyes, and they're underneath the other basket. Do they have some sort of underground passage?
No, it's called hustle.
Yeah, that's true. And the hard work is paying off in spades for both the former Ohio State Buckeye and Jordan Jensen-White, who's a former UBC Thunderbird, won a Canada West Championship. Oh, yeah, with his coach and Doug Plum. I talked to him about that pregame. He says, yeah, it's a little weird to go from being a teammate to then having a teammate-coach relationship.
So true.
8:42 remains here in the third quarter of play. It's a 20-point lead for the home side, looking for their 11th straight victory to start off the 2022 season. Billy White couldn't get it. It goes off of Jones, who's trying to sprint in there and out of bounds.
He's just forcing every shot is Billy White. Every shot he's got is contested, but that's because he's making it contested.
I know you don't like my analogies. Some of them go over your head, but let's try this one. It's like he's in quicksand, partner, and the more that he tries to do, the more work that he tries to put on his shoulders, it's sinking him down.
Okay, I'm with you.
And if his teammates could get some preparation and some offense done, maybe they could pull him out.
Yeah, I wish we got a couple of three-point hitters here, which is awesome. But White is a terrific shooter at the three-point line. He's got a terrific jump shot. He needs to take a little bit what the defense is giving him till the defense comes out and then pound it inside. But the defense is waiting for him inside.
Yeah, that last three ball from Anderson, and I believe the previous one from Lance Tejada, at least gets you the heart murmurs back on the monitor because it looks like Winsor was flatlining there.
Life support. Oh, my goodness. You're so dramatic.
We got to paint the picture. Would you like to start the season 2-7? I'm sure for Bill Jones, who's got 100 wins in his NBLC coaching career, is absolutely fuming at his team's 2022 start. And if there's a guy that's going to turn around the ship and right all their wrongs, man, oh man, it's going to be Bill Jones.
Yeah, they're going to need some help, I think, along the way on personnel-wise, and they definitely need to pick up their defense. I'm not sure where they're going to get it.
See, even now, there's 25 seconds left in the timeout. All of the products for London, Jones, Thomas, Amir Williams, Haley, and Isom are all at midcourt, whereas Bill Jones was still kind of giving some more instructions to his team. Again, they got a lot of ground to make up here, down by 20.
They do. But it's a long season. We said that before, and when earlier broadcasts, my observation is that traditionally London gets off to strong starts. You can look at the record over the years. Traditionally, they get off to a strong start because they have a good organization. They recruit good people early. They don't have as much turnover on their players as any of the other teams in the league, historically wise. So, but by the end of the season, many of the teams have caught up either by picking up some more players or finally playing their brand of style that the coach wants.
But to that point, London has an open roster spot. They can actually add a bullet to the chamber, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Jones from Haley, a little dine and dash, but he can't get this one off the glass.
That should have been a 2-foot jump shot. Make it easy on yourself.
Terry
Why are you
Thomas,
contesting it so hard?
maybe he can play for Team Canada this afternoon. They are taking on Jamaica at 4 o'clock, and we jinxed them last time, John, so maybe we shouldn't even talk about it, but they lost to Costa Rica in a nail-biter where they got a card and they were down a player, and I watched that second half when I got home. They dominated. They hit the crossbar, they hit the post. Oh man, they gotta beat Jamaica today at BMO Field, though.
They will. That's what who's that guy on the sports that says that's my guarantee?
I want to know though, if we qualify for the World Cup and we get into the draw groups and we get in Netherlands, who do you reside with then, partner?
I don't know what to say. Yeah. I'm going to have to be a Canadian.
Yeah,
I'm a
8
Canadian
minutes
citizen,
left in the
so
third
I'm a
quarter.
Canadian citizen. Got to be Canada.
Quinnell Brown trying to go after Haley, puts up the shot, gets no love off the rim. And again, that's something, maybe it's the Greg Popovich kind of thing to say, but London's getting shots off the rim and in, Winsor off the rim and out. Sometimes it just breaks down that way.
It does, but that's a third-team foul already on London. That was a good move by Quinnell Brown. He's going to the foul line. He's a good foul shooter. Prove my words right, put it in. So, it's still a productive trip.
And
right?
to our point, Billy White, sure, he's only got 2 points in the second half, but guys like Quinnell Brown now has 10, Anderson with 8, Tejada with 7. They're starting to pick up the slack a little bit.
Okay, but where is the defense coming from? That is my question.
Well,
all year long, their defense has been poor.
Well, remember, they held London to just 17 points in the opening quarter. They gave up 38 points, though.
38, that's crazy. Do the math on that one, times 4. Like, that would be an uncrazy Denver Nuggets
You're going to 140, that's for sure. So Jones, and I mentioned actually in the previous game, the 123-104 final, if London had made any more than the 4 out of 25 3 balls they put up in that game, John, that game would have been maybe 30, 40-point differential on the board.
Well, London's taking advantage right now of their bigs, right? And that's where they're looking and focusing on their offense. I think as the year goes on, they are definitely going to have to improve their three-point shooting percentage for sure. Where is that coming from? Not quite sure. They got lots of decent shooters. They have a sharpshooter on the bench. Hasn't really come through yet for them. But to me, that is maybe one thing they need. And maybe in that open roster spot is a sharpshooter.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a good problem to have if you're London. They cut Raheem Williams earlier this season. By the way, Manny Sahota not available today. Sort of a bench kind of guy for Doug Plum, but regardless, you'd like to have him on your bench, not here at all, as Amir Williams is good from the line. And again, it's still a 20-point lead. So to your last point, sure, some of the offense is waking up for Winsor, but the defense hasn't tightened up, and as a result, they still trail by 20. Tejada takes a trip to the baseline and kicks it up to Anderson. 3 balls away. It's good. The Carlton Ravens a dagger maker today.
They can start heating up. That will get you back in a game in a hurry. 3-point flurry will get you back in a game in a hurry.
He had a double-double performances last time here in London. By the way, he was 4 of 11 from downtown in that game was Anderson. Mr. Anderson. As Williams will kick that out.
Matrix reference.
Yeah, did you get that one? Okay, now Jones with the step-back 3.
Yeah.
You love the drama. As this one actually hits off the sideline reporter.
Yeah, I think Amir Williams touched that last. The ball hit the sideline out of bounds.
And again, thanks for tuning in here on MBLC TV. This is all brought to you by Cujo Entertainment. I want to give a big shout out. I don't do this as much as I should. To Luke and Min, our camera guys who do an incredible job getting you all these angles, as well as our man Cam, holding down the production and direction back in the truck. Great outside perimeter ball movement.
That's what I said at the half, right?
They're trying to get to Anderson, who's been hot as of late, but it's slapped out of his hands.
So good ball movement finally. A couple more things that we see from Winsor on a regular basis is their assists, and that's what they really need to pick up in this third quarter or second half.
And they keep to that perimeter right now. Does Lance Tejada trying to evade Marique Eisen, tours the baseline, kicks it out to Quinnell Brown, won't go.
Unlucky, had a good look. He was all set, hands ready.
Jordan Jensen-White from the corner will kick it out to Marique Eisen. It's away, but it won't go down. Offensive board by Forte. The hook's good.
That's just an unstoppable shot. I tell you, nobody in the league can stop that shot.
I keep watching that show, Winning Time. I got to get you to watch an episode of it, John. And again, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think back to the classics of him. Kind of made that shot famous, did he not?
Well, we call the sky hook for a reason, right? He was nobody touching that shot from Kareem.
And again, in and out for Winsor. The other way, it's Forte making it look easy.
And that is something that Doug Plum really appreciated. Dribble penetration and the handoff to the easy open guy.
A 21-point lead now for the Lightning. They are in the driver's seat, to say the least.
Well, I think Plum really wants them to stay mentally in the game, right? It's hard to stay when you have a big lead, but that tells me the players are staying mentally into the game.
Billy White, wow, now 1 of 3 from downtown. He's just got 2 points in the second half, John. He had 15 at halftime.
He's got a tough task. He's guarding Forte.
Forte won't go as it hits the back of the rim. He wants a call and said he's going to get a tech for his lip.
Absolutely. He got hacked, but that was before the shot. It wasn't on the shot. I wouldn't disagree with that, but that outburst is going to get you a technical every time, and now he's not stopping.
Squeak, squeak. Well, guess what? The squeak sometimes gets removed.
You just love your metaphors and puns and similes.
I'm trying to get some Dutch ones out of you, but I can't do it.
I don't want to embarrass my country. So.
Oh, come on now. And again,
my former home country, my ancestral home.
And again, this is a partnership game, John, between the London Lightning Basketball, London Abuse Women's Center, the annual Purple Game, and Shine the Light on Women's Abuse campaign. The event was created by two organizations to raise awareness on the issues of men's violence against women, and the two organizations have partnered in this effort since its inception back in 2011. Quinnell Brown goes across the court. Billy White, he's got to heat up. He'll be fouled by Forte. Now remember, Forte picked up that tech. That was his second foul. That's his third foul. He picked up too quickly here.
Yeah, and White has got 3 fouls as well.
And I mentioned this already. Those purple jerseys are not only just worn, they're going to be signed after the game. And then all the proceeds actually go to the frontline services for the abused women's and girls in our community.
So all the uniforms that they're wearing tonight, all the players,
yeah,
all those ones are going?
Yeah, we can go online to londonlightning.ca and check it out. By the way, since I'm just chucking out shout-outs, I mean, you do it all the time. Why can't I do it? Jake, the media guy for the London Lightning, he's always hooking us up with great information. Although I miss him here today. I don't see him down at the scores table. So shout-outs to Jake. Any shout-outs, John?
I'll do
oh, yeah, okay. Put you on the
problem.
spot.
Yeah, that's all good. I was just saying, like, okay. Like,
Billy White draws him to 20 points down. I feel like I've said that time and time again, John.
It's staying at 20, right? So they're matching them offensively so far, Windsor, but they're not overcoming into that deficit.
Is there a 21-point bucket I'm not aware of in basketball?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
They need some defensive stops. I'm totally with you. 100%. Defense has been the problem for Windsor.
Tate crosses over. Makes his move. Isom puts up the shot, in and out. It looked good, though, John. And now, as he was falling out of bounds, he was trying to keep it alive almost between his legs there, John. Anderson couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's straddling the out-of-bounds line. The referee called him out of bounds. London ball.
By the way, the next London Lightning home broadcast will be, well, a week from today. And they're going to get their third taste of the basketball league as the Terry Thomas shot is away and won't go against Flint United.
Okay, look forward to that.
Lance Tejada kisses the window for 2. So, yeah, they picked up a huge victory over the Lansing Pharaohs, who, by the way, are in their inaugural season in the basketball league. Then they played the defending Eastern Conference champions and handed them their first loss as it's a nylon tickler, a long 2-ball from Tate. But, yeah, you go from Lansing Pharaohs to Syracuse. And then, yeah, they got to play the Flint United. And then to a point you made earlier in the season, they'll play Flint and Lansing away. They won't play Syracuse, though, which I eagerly want to see again. Tejada's 3-ball hits nothing but the bottom of the cup.
Down to 17 points here, and now can he get a stop and get it down to under 15 next possession?
So what's the other team they're going to see on the road? It's the Albany Patroons. As Jordan Jensen White retaliates with a 3 of his own.
He always gives you what you need at the right time, doesn't he? Just seems to be in the right spot, gives you the big rebound, the big steal, the big block, or the big 3 on that occasion.
Well, in the last, let's say, 90 seconds, it felt like Windsor was finally getting some control. And then after that 3-ball from the Calgary, Alberta native, it's a 20-point lead. Have I spanned that record enough? White. Dribble pass down to Malik Miller trying to spin off of Isom. Can't get love off the back of the rim. It was a nice move, though.
Better defense by Isom against a much bigger player.
Power move by Jordan Jensen White. It goes for the right-hand floater.
Just gives you that spark when you need it. The other team's sniffing some hope, and then he just puts out the flame.
Man, he only had 2 points, by the way, just 2 minutes ago, and now he's got 7. He's climbing up the leaderboard. Whistle blows here with 2:55 left in the third quarter of play. So again, we've mentioned this time and time again, the Windsor Express 2-6 coming into this game. There are only 2 wins coming against the Basketball League. And again, London will look to go to 3-0 against the Basketball League when the Flint United come to town next Sunday, 2 p.m. tip-off live on NBLC TV, brought to you by Cujo Entertainment.
I wonder how much difference. Nice.
That was
nice,
nifty. What can Brown do for you?
By Bill Jones. But I'm interested to see how London will fare on the road in the States when they have their full complementary team as well. Because sometimes the teams come up, they don't have their full roster here.
Forte, the hook won't go this time. It pops out to Devontae Pratt. Nice move between the back to feed Quinnell Brown. It spins around and goes down. Man, Devontae Pratt, that pass, though.
That was terrific. Behind the back. dribble first. Kept it out of the defender's hand, and then that beautiful pass.
Terry Thomas gets away from Quinnell Brown, feeds Forte. Forte gets
That's
the real
offensive.
estate.
Yes, sir. He pushed him off with his offhand.
Foul number 4 for Forte. And despite the fact that he's got 17 points and 8 rebounds, he won't be able to get the double-double fix if he fouls out like we saw 3. That's right, 3 Sudbury 5 products do the last game here at the Bud.
And one you said ejected.
Ejected.
They only had 9 players to start with. Yeah. They're down to their last 5.
They missed 2 on the trip coming down. Then they lost 4 over the course of the game. I really wanted that game to go to overtime to see the headaches Elliot Etherton would have had to deal with. Oh, a delayed alley-oop. Bring it down, Billy White. Recognize a real Don when you see one.
Will that give them a spark, though? They got to make some stops here.
It deflected off of Amir Williams. Again, he had 8 blocks, a franchise record in the last game, but he just didn't get just enough of it, and still somehow, some way, Billy White got to the rock and slammed it home. 1:41 to go. Now, to a point you made earlier, the lead is below 20 points, where it feels like the first time here in the second half. Forte's got to be a cool cucumber in this next couple minutes of play. He'll leave it there for Tate, and Tate on his pivot foot finds Thomas. Thomas goes into the key. I thought he took one too many steps, but instead it's a hoop, and it's a harm.
Oh, he absorbed the contact and finished his layup, right? 1, 2, and up. So third step's up. He did correctly.
Well, let's check this out on the replay.
Ahead, yeah.
Was it, though, or was it a little LeBron James-esque?
Maybe, yes.
Where you get an extra step or 2 in there. Regardless, Bill Jones and the Express can't be happy as Terry Thomas, the ball don't lie, they say, John, and don't go that time. Tanner Stuckman over midcourt. By the way, Stuckman, 2023 NBA draft eligible. As he's got the ball right now, instead of electing to take the 3, comes in for a 2 and hits nylon.
That's a great choice, but they just need to make that shot consistently, and that will change up London's defense.
The shot clock off underneath the basket, and that disrupts London's offense with a $1:06 left in the third quarter.
Yeah. Okay, so it's back on now, is it? Yeah. So the shot clock went out for some reason.
Now, I was going to refer to Billy White's massive alley-oop, but that actually happened at the other end of the court. So how did the lights get knocked out?
I don't know.
Amir Williams going after Stuckman. Stuckman got his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, he's overmatched, Stuckman, down there physically and strength-wise. A heel strength, sterke fella.
Yeah, Stuckman's 6'9", 210 pounds, but you're right, that extra 2 inches from Amir Williams and maybe a couple more LBs goes the advantage. See the advantage go to work right now. It's the rim, though. Numbers the other way for the Express. Lance Tejada tried to get crafty with it, lost the ball instead. JAYLON Tate glides to the layup.
Good defense down the other end. Poor turnover at half led to an easy run out again. Points off of turnovers are killing Winsor.
Sometimes I like it when the guy's on the breakaway, instead of just cramming it down, the guy uses it like a peach basket and just sort of drops it in there. Jump ball on the near side goes to the advantage of the Express as it looks like it goes off at Jones.
They got bailed out that way. That's a low percentage pass. Oh, my goodness.
There's 14 left on the shot clock and 33 seconds left in this third quarter. Quinnell Brown off of a Stuckman screen that sent Jones down to the court. Jones immediately goes after the official, goes, "What do you want from me, kid?" I actually really Chief and Rick Stellick. He lets the players talk to a degree, and then he sets the tone when it needs to be set for the officials. But even that time, yeah, I like that.
One too much
Jones kept talking, and he told him to stop.
I was watching along with you along the sideline. You were giving a lot of credit to Stellick. And Stellick says, "Get him away from me. I don't want to give him a second technical." I really like that from Stellick. He's always been one of my favorite referees as well.
See, now he's going to go talk to Caleb Cho, and he's going to get another technical as a result. Or is it Tate getting a technical now? Out of Caparici, technicals are flying, and none of them are going to Doug Plum, which is where they always go, John.
He did say he might get a technical tonight.
Well, there was 2 tees thrown up there. One from Stellick, the crew chief, and then Caparici, I believe, teed up Tate at the end of it.
They just got to stop talking to the referees, the players.
I think everybody needs to put duct tape over their lips at this point. You are up in this game by a plethora. Why give the other team any advantage to get back into this game?
Plethora is not a very exact measurement, but it's a lot anyway.
It's a cornucopia on the board. Johnny, you like that one?
Cornucopia? A bountiful harvest? Is that what that means?
Give me some Dutch, buddy. I want to know, like, what would be bountiful in Dutch?
A hill what?
There we go. So they're up by a hill what right now.
It's true.
So Terry Thomas, East Preston, Nova Scotia native, over 3,000 points in his NBLC career. In fact, he's in the top 10 now officially in all-time leading scorers in this league. Shot clock is turned off. Tate, who we believe got the second technical, is going to let it wind down to the very end here. Tate steps back, loses Devontae Pratt from the charity stripe. It rattles around, won't go down, and that ends the third quarter of play.
It's a good look. Let him do ISO. Good fadeaway. So they're up by 16. A little bit dent into that big lead. The momentum of this game sort of slowed down. The whole tenor of this game has slowed down with those technicals, a little bit more physical play and some shot making by Winsor, but still they need to get defensive stops early in the fourth quarter. They're never going to climb out of this hole.
Someone they don't have in this game, by the way, we probably should have mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, was the Waukegan, Illinois native, 6'7", Ja'Kai Taylor.
That's right. That is a big miss for them.
And Taylor set sort of a physical tone defensively, but as well as poured it in on the offense the last time here at Budweiser Gardens. Not having his services, I mean, again, John, his team's only got 65 points on the board going into the fourth quarter of play.
Let's see what's so. They kept it a little bit closer. They outscored the Lightning that quarter by 7 points. They did cut into the lead a bit, but like I said, they're still allowing London to score way too often and way too easy.
Now remember the run at the end of the third quarter, Joe John, large in part to 2 technical fouls being handed out to the Lightning.
Looks like Winsor doing a little bit better with the turnovers. That third quarter, London's,
Cameron Forte, 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. He's leading the Lightning with 17 points. Tate and Amir Williams both have 14, and Jermaine Haley's poured in 10. Billy White leading everybody on the court right now with 20 points. He's 8 of 18, though, from the field. Amir Williams going after Stuckman. Sends Stuckman down to the deck and rolls it in.
It's just outmatches him physically. That's what I keep saying, and then nobody's coming to help either.
Devontae Pratt up the court, feeds Billy White. Trying to add to his, day high of 20 points. This is the Rock this time. Can't believe the non-call. Jones to Tate, to the trailer, and Forte bring down the house.
That's Forte's strength as well, running the floor. He was catching up with that dribbler, and he got rewarded with it.
You want to get away with that? I wouldn't, as Billy White retaliates the other way with a hoop and a harm in his own right.
Yeah, that was good. Just mental lapse and mental concentration for London. That would really bother me as a coach. You do a great defensive play, a run out on a dunk, and then you give an easy layup at the other end. Like, you just did a trade-off. Where did all that defense get rewarded? To me, that would irk me as a coach.
London, by the way, shooting 47.5% in their last game, 53.33% last game against the Express, and so far in this game, John, outstanding, 51.5%. How are you ever going to beat a team if they make over 50% of their shots?
Exactly.
Forte was trying to go to something familiar, got punched out, so no backcourt violation here as Tate collects it. Shot clock is expiring. 2 left on. Hucks up the prayer. Don't go. Forte outmuscles Billy White for the offensive board and goes to your patented hook move.
Yeah, absolutely. He was right. He outmuscled Billy White that time. Billy White doesn't want to pick up his 4th foul, I don't think.
It's like if we were playing basketball on like an Xbox or something, you get to Forte and you just hammer 0 as hard as you can, and he does that little hook move.
Yeah, here's Jones.
Absolutely.
Forcing the action again.
Yeah, commandeered away from Pratt. 3 on the other way. Stuckman goes to the easy layup.
That's something Doug Plum said at the beginning of the show, too. He said Forte and Chris Jones are the biggest culprits for turnovers. I said, well, to me, Forte is just making poor passes, creating those turnovers, whereas Jones, it's by almost too much extra effort. He's forcing his way into between 2 players, creating the turnover.
Although some sort of criticism you've thrown out hand and time again for Cameron Ford, those long football passes, we actually haven't seen a lot of that in this game, though, to that point.
Well, I said to Plum, I called him a couple times. I called him dumb passes. I said, I apologize for that. He says, no, he said they are dumb.
Yeah, I don't think you have to mince words with dumb.
I found that out, absolutely. I apologize on the air. I don't like saying things like that about players.
Well, I can't see half the stuff we talk
about
about.
The player, but it was a dumb pass. You don't understand half the things I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I'm saying I couldn't repeat half the things Doug and I talk about.
Oh, okay, I got you there. Yes.
So with 10:16 to go, London remains in the driver's seat with a 19-point lead as the Fighting Illy product and JAYLON Tate makes both from the line.
Well, the second half has been pretty even, really, between the two teams. Windsor, to their credit, right?
And to that point,
offensively, are keeping up with it.
Devontae Pratt retaliates with a two-ball of his own. But
17 again. This is a number they can't seem to get through.
Jones, the fadeaway's up. It won't go. Pratt with the rebound. Has a man up the court, and Quinnell Brown feeds him the rock. Brown goes off the square and in. And as a result, timeout call from Doug Plum. Again, I think it's a good problem to have when you have a double-digit lead for the majority of the game. But still, like you said, he seems like Doug Plum, I'm referring to, wants his team to pretty much put his foot on the throat of their opponent and press down.
Well, to me, when I said I was irked earlier, right, that was a great...
that doesn't take much.
That was a great defensive play down on one end. You got the dunk with Cameron Forte. But within 3 seconds later, they make the layup and the foul shot. So, in end, your defensive play did not get rewarded because you were outscored. So, a mental lapse. And then here again, everybody's watching the shot down here. And the guy who challenged the shooter ran the floor, which he's supposed to do. The shooter, after he shoots it, should be running down the floor with him. Mental lapse, concentration, an easy run out again. I'm calling a timeout. Like, God, you're watching. You're just admiring yourself scoring or taking the shot. You're not back on defense after the ball's in the air. Like, get going.
And remember, London was leading just 17-15 after the first quarter of play. But really, that was as close as the Windsor Express have gotten in this game so far. And remember, in their last game for the Express, never tasted the lead, John. They trailed by as much as 16 for the majority of the third quarter. They've trailed by the majority of the second half by 20 here. Yogi Berra, deja vu all over again.
You love that one. But I keep saying, like, you can't develop bad habits. You got to stamp them out of your game. You can't have mental lapses. Even when it's a runaway game or a somewhat close game or a 15-point game, like when push gets to shove and the games get close and the playoff crunch comes, you have to rely on your good habits to get you through.
Doug Plum, by the way, was an all-Canadian first-team Canada West honor member when his team won the conference title in 2013 for the UBC Thunderbirds. Before he turned into a coach, he actually played professionally in Hungary and Romania, and then became an assistant coach with the London Lightning in the 2016-17 season under Kyle Julius. Oh yeah, they won a league title, one of 4 they've had in the 10 years of this league's history. And then 2017-18 season became eventually the head coach of the St. John's Edge. Lightning fans are sure happy to have him as their bench boss this season, back again.
Yeah, so this is the 10th year, right, of the league.
Correct.
So London has won 4 out of the 9 seasons that have been played.
Yeah, and Windsor, by the way, has won 2 as well, back-to-back.
That's right.
And technically, I noticed the Moncton Magic, despite leading the standings, they didn't actually credit any champion for that year. So the 2019 is still the Moncton Magic. If you actually count the fact that they were at the top of the standings when the last, that's technically back-to-back too. I was really shocked that they didn't do something, even just a play-in game, like a one-off playoff between the top teams to try and settle but, you know, it is what it is.
Yep. COVID disrupted everything, is right.
It ruined everything, John. Devontae Pratt zigzagging his way, trying to lose Tate. Can't get it to go. The recycling bin, though. That's a nice job that time from Bradford. Sorry, I'm going to look on my sheet. I was like, oh, yeah, that's the new guy, Jordan.
Yeah, that's the new guy. Just
Jordan
signed, just
Befford.
like you said, just signed this morning.
And Jordan Befford, by the way, that's his first points officially as the National Basketball League of Canada player. Now, again, I referred to it earlier. He played against the National Basketball League of Canada for the Basketball League in the Dayton Flight. Despite being grounded in that game, Dayton's Befford put up 40-plus points.
Well, just for those fans that are maybe watching for the first time tonight, of course, NBL, National Basketball League of Canada, has 4 teams left in Ontario this year. The East Coast is taking a hiatus. So in order to get some more games in the schedule, they're doing some cross play with some teams in the States. And that league is called the Basketball League.
Basketball League.
There's about 40 teams across and about 6 different divisions across the states. So we're doing some cross national games we're playing
And
with them, and those games count in our standings, but not in their standings.
And to that point, the London Lightning have, well, a 2-0 record so far in 2022 against the Basketball League. They handled the Lansing Pharaohs with ease, as they are an inaugural team in their season in the Basketball League is Lansing. And then they had, let's face it, a huge, colossal battle against the Syracuse Stallions, a battle of the undefeateds. But they handed the Syracuse Stallions their first loss of 2022. Now, the only criticism I give to that, though, was Syracuse was playing the second night of a back-to-back. They actually won up in Sudbury the previous night, and then, you know, to kind of be honest, they didn't have gas in the tank for that game.
And they didn't have their full complement of players. Right? Two of their key players did not come with them for whatever reason, COVID protocols,
border
issues, whatever, right?
But it goes back
they're going to see everybody when they go down there.
Except
London.
for Syracuse.
Yeah. But the teams that they go down will have the full complement. I'm really interested to see how they fare because they're going on a long road trip to London Lightning. They've had a very favorable schedule.
Amir Williams, he'll be fouled. Or, sorry, they're going to say that won't count. Okay, so it is. He'll just go to the line to shoot two here.
Like we're saying, London Lightning has a very favorable schedule so far this season. A lot of home games, right?
Well, that changes, though. That's a good point to make.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to go on a large, long road trip in the month of April. Almost 3 weeks they won't be at home.
Yeah, a week from today, they'll take on the Flint United here at home. I believe the following Wednesday, they play the KW Titans. And then for the remainder of the month of April, these two fools won't be able to take you through anything, as it'll be all road games for the London Lightning.
Oh, fool.
Nobody called anybody a JT. Do you know that reference?
No, I don't think I do.
It's from Jackie Moon and the Flint Tropics from his beautiful...
Sorry, I'd have to go a little farther back for me. So.
Semi-pro? You didn't watch that movie?
No.
What? We're literally taking on a team from Flint next Sunday. John, do yourself a little bit of research favor and watch the Flint Tropics play some basketball between now and then.
Look at that.
Quinnell Brown.
Totally alone. Confusion of who's guarding who.
He just dropped off the
Jones.
GPS.
Yeah.
But the lead is down
partner.
to 12.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's never over till it's over, right? Still 8 minutes to go.
Get off of me, he says to the fellow three.
Windsor coming to life a bit here. If they can make some stops, they can make this a game. And what does London have left? Are they going to have some critical baskets? And who makes it?
White.
White again comes through.
You said he always shows up when they need a little something. That's a case in point right there.
Absolutely.
He's laying back on the defense, though, as Devontae Pratt used the Billy White screen. Now, White wanted the ball immediately, didn't get it from Befford. Now, Befford sort of trapped up here on the near wing. Finally finds White. 6 seconds, though, left on the shot clock. Going after Jordan Jensen. White tried to put it up, won't go. Gets his own rebound for the recycling bin.
Terrific athleticism, falling backwards and going down. Puts the ball in the hoop.
Haley in the corner, being watched by the aforementioned White. 7:18 left on the scoreboard here at Budweiser Gardens. You're going to say that's a charge on Haley.
It is, and really unnecessary. He had his man in a vulnerable position. I would have just stopped and done the spin move. Put it up in the hoop like Cameron Forte does. There's no reason to bully his man all the way through.
Cameron Forte, we knew he was going to get a partner, and he certainly has the double-double fix on that last rebound. Now 21 points and 10 rebounds in this game, and as I referred, the last game against the Express, 44 points, 18 rebounds. Oh yeah, his last game, 25 points, 10 rebounds. I'm starting to develop a little theme here.
Yeah, I can fill up the stat sheet, that's for sure. You see that little move there Jensen did, cut off that baseline pass?
And as a result, Anderson gets it, puts up the floater. It won't go. He barrels down to the floor. That's Quinnell Brown cleaning it up.
Okay, what do we got now? 10 points.
10-point lead. And in the majority of this second half, and I really mean the majority, over 12 minutes, have been 20-plus in the differential on the board.
And I see Williams already coming to the score clock.
No love off the rim for Jones, and it's White pulling away the ball. He'll be fouled by the former teammate.
That's a frustration foul, totally unnecessary. They're not in the shooting bonus yet, but
third foul of the game for Jones.
Yeah, but at the end of the game, you might put him on the foul line, right? So,
foul trouble-wise, it's Haley with 5 and Forte with 4. For the Express, Jolie with 4, Stuckman with 4, and Billy White now has 4.
Yeah, there's no real true big on for Winsor right now.
I mentioned it earlier. The clock doesn't start until you pick up the ball for possession. So Tejada takes advantage of that with his team down by 10. After cruising to the baseline, kicks it into the corner for Anderson. Thought about taking the three from the wing and backs away from the Thomas defense. Going after Thomas now. Tried to bounce pass it to White. Kick ball from Amir Williams, who looks a little frustrated at himself.
Yeah, because it goes back up to 14 seconds. It was down to 5. They had done a good possession there, defensive possession, but
Good point.
Give him 10 more seconds back.
He nailed that one as White will take the inbound from Lance Tejada and goes over across to Quinnell Brown. He's fouled by Jordan Jensen White.
That is just a veteran move. He saw the defender coming out so hard. So I'm just going to wait till the last second and halfway get out of the way, but not quite, so I get a foul, you know.
Oh, just like that Costa Rican guy that drew the red out of us?
Yeah, that was definitely a flop, yeah. But that was poor Mark Anthony Kay to even be close to him, so.
Especially after you already picked up a yellow for what should have been a red card.
Just walked away, not even done anything, so.
Well, hopefully there's no red cards today. And again, if Canada just ties, they don't even have to beat Jamaica. If they just tie Jamaica at home at BMO Field, they will qualify for the World Cup in Qatar. As Billy White underneath the basket floats it around Forte.
Just let him get that position, Forte. He didn't challenge him at all.
8-point lead. Trying to double team Terry Thomas. He's fouled. Anderson says, my bad.
Yeah, Forte just not challenging White underneath the basket. An easy putback on there. You let him get the offensive position. Way too easy.
How do we keep nailing these keys of the game? It must be the stable.ca. Own a little, love it a lot. We talked about the free throw battle. Those are going to come up real clutch in the next 5 minutes and 40 or 54 seconds. Oh, yeah. Focusing on the task at hand, London's trying to chase a record both set by the franchise and the league back in 2012-13. Well, they had a 20-point lead. Be pretty foolish and look like egg on their face if they let this one slip. Forte, patented hook. Why not? 23 points poured in tonight.
They worked hard to deny it, but he just couldn't wait long enough. I thought Forte was in the key for a long time that time.
You've mentioned that actually quite a bit. He stays there maybe 1 or 2 seconds longer than you're supposed to.
I think he gets a lot of
leeway.
I do, personally, yes.
Perimeter ball movement by the Express. Anderson stuck on his pivot foot as it's a mismatch against Forte. 3 balls hucked away. It won't go for Tejada. He had to kind of put that up as there was only 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, personally, I think those shouldn't count against you when you're shooting at the end of the shot clock for your shooting percentage. Oh, Terry
Thomas gets this one to go, and as a result, Thomas now has 9 points. Look how spread the offense is today for Doug Plum's crew. Cameron Forte leads it with the double-double, 23 points, 10 rebounds. I mentioned Amir Williams was in double-double conversation. He's got it now, folks, 17 points, 10 rebounds. I mentioned JAYLON Tate. He's 1 dime, apple, or assist, whatever you want to call him, John, from having his own double-double. And then, oh yeah, the rest of the crew. 10 from Haley, 9 from Thomas, 9 from Jordan Jensen White, 7 from Jones, and 7 from Isom. Contributed, and not to put the other side of the court down, but you look at their bottom half of their lineup. Once you get past Billy White, Quinnell Brown, Lance Tejada, and Marcus Anderson, Stuckman 4, Pratt 4, Bedford 2, Jolie 2, and Malik Miller 1. I mean, that's just a combined 13 points between 6 of your bench players, John.
I agree. We said it all year. Like, London's usually gets a head start in the season on their record, but I always attribute that to a good franchise, good management. They pick their players early. Their players stay with them for the most part. There's probably the least amount of personal turnover on the London team historically over the whole league. If you go back and do all the moves, London has historically the least amount. So they gel earlier, they have chemistry, everybody's starting to know their roles earlier, and more depth on their team. But like I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to see it all year. It will look different at the end of the year, I assure you.
Yeah, some familiar themes, despite whether it's the pre- or post-COVID era. London near the top of the NBLC standings, as well as Budweiser Garden Faithful packing in. Remember, London led the league in attendance for, the previous 2 seasons before COVID hit.
There was I think it was Halifax had a great attendance as well.
And Moncton.
It was always neck and neck between those franchises.
Goes back to kind of going the saddening point of being, oh man, if just the 4 Atlantic teams could come back and join us.
I really hope so for next year.
And I'm sure from a Canadian standpoint, as we get an elongated pause, because again, the clock to the left of us has gone out again.
And this year, of course, this season started late, and it's going to run really close to the CEBL league that runs in the summer as well. That's a bit of a issue for players that are playing this league that will probably likely play in that league with very little time to transition over to a new team once the season is over.
To that point, John, you click on an article and you go, Terry Thomas signed with the Guelph Nighthawks? Oh, he's not a London Light. No, he's going to finish out his season in London and then quickly hop over to Guelph for CEBL basketball.
Yeah, exactly. But he's going to miss all the preseason. He'll be in great season shape, though, right? Because he'll have played all season. So shape-wise, he'll be fine. So breaking the action here with the
did you forget to pay the hydro bill? What's going on?
Not I. I'm very faithful.
Okay.
I'm really good on
I have a feeling that's more the misses than you.
No, that's me. I take care of the bills.
She
makes the money. I live off her.
Whoa, you got to hook me up with some of that now.
Yeah, no problem. I live off my wife's earnings, so yeah.
The London
She's
Lightning,
standing right beside me as well, so I don't know if she heard that.
They do
Make a little funny there, honey. Sorry. Well, no, making fun of me, actually.
So the clock has been fixed, John. 5:05 remains in the game, and it's a 12-point lead for the Lightning.
I'm so glad that they got this game back a bit competitive here for Winsor, because personally, nobody likes to see blowouts anyway. You also salvage a little bit of pride in your game, but this is good for London as well to be in close games. Where is their character? How do they hold on to the ball? What do they do on defense? How do they manage their possessions the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, and it's not a cup of sleepy tea for this broadcaster to sip on, so I enjoy it more. As the battle of the 23s beneath the London basket, Billy White tried to get some separation, finds Anderson instead. I don't know if that was a pass attempt to Stuckman or a shot attempt.
I think it was a pass attempt, yes, but nobody will be expecting under there.
Yeah, pass or shot, it's an ill result. It's a turnover.
Personally, Billy White is just struggling to get too close to the basket. He just gets himself closed in. Just take that little hook shot like Forte does, or a little jump shot off the backboard when you're that. Don't take another step in closer and make it so difficult for yourself. Interesting.
Anderson's 3 for 3 from downtown, but Bill Jones, after that last foul, just take a seat with 4:40 left in this game. Amir Williams loses Stuckman as two Express products got tangled with each other. Somehow commandeering the ball is Billy White. Up the court to Quinnell Brown. He's got a wide open real estate to go after the basket.
Stuckman was playing football down there. You see that? He's leading the block. Would not let Chris Jones get around him. An easy layup for Brown.
Another whistle down at the court. No, it's not related to the shot clock this time.
What was that? Did you catch that?
No, that's why I'm a little...
I think maybe the referee spotted something on the floor that was wet. And
well, that's true. Yeah, the mop game came out to clean something up. So maybe safety was a priority.
He spotted something, or a player said something to him maybe, and wanted to stop the play.
I know initially Coach Plum couldn't be happy with that, but when it comes down to his player's safety, that's probably a key thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Amir Williams leaves it there for Tate. His team's up by 10, trying to add to it here. It won't go off the back of the rim. Pulled away by Devontae Pratt. Pratt up the court, was trying to find Lance Tejada. It ricochets back to him. Hot potato basketball. Billy White is fouled blatantly by Amir Williams. What could you possibly be arguing about?
Intentional foul, he's calling it as well.
But it was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know why they argue so much.
I don't know. He's in an awkward position for one thing, right? Take a look here. Is this intentional? Is he going for the ball? I guess there's not enough play on the ball there, but I thought there was some play on the ball. But it's called intentional, so they're going to shoot two,
your team's
and they're going to get the ball back.
Already gotten 2 techs in this game. You think you would kind of learn from the previous occasions ago, you know what, I'm just going to walk away from this situation.
Oh, even though White's got how many points tonight? Like 22 points or something? He's still struggling. He's struggling tonight.
He's got 27 points, partner, but he's 6 from the charity stripe now.
I tell you, he's had to work very hard tonight for his points. He's going to get his 30 points.
11 of 22 from the field to your point, partner.
Mm-hmm. He's just had to work so hard for him.
Leads down to 9. 3:57 left on the clock. Winsor, who's trailed by, 20 points the majority of this second half, have nibbled away into it in the latter half of the fourth quarter. Great time to do so.
Every possession counts here.
Pratt pulls up the 3, nylon twister.
A 7-point game. Oh, my goodness. All right, so can they get a defensive stop? And where's offense coming from for the London Lightning?
Despite having 5 personal fouls, Jermaine Haley gets ready to check into the game. Jones, again, a former Bill Jones product for the Windsor Express, Feeds it cross court to Tate. He couldn't handle it right away. Barrels down to the floor. They're going to say he touched it while he fell out of bounds. Windsor ball.
Jones not only dribbled too long that time, he picked up his dribble too soon. So I don't know how that's an oxymoron, but he picked it up when he had a defender draped all over him.
It looked like the initial hesitation was to open it up to Forte, but he didn't feed Cameron right away, and as a result, it kind of kerfuffled the rest of the play.
And too much time off the clock. The ball didn't hardly move.
Lance Tejada to Billy White, who's guarded by Haley, who's just checked back into this game. He's got 5 personal fouls. He's got to be careful. Quinnell Brown puts it over Amir Williams. It won't go. Terry Thomas on the board. It'll be the 3rd rebound of the game for Thomas. Amir Williams engages with a fellow 3 and Billy White. Hoop and the harm.
Yeah, Billy White's got really nothing to say. He put his arms up, but he leaned over and gave Amir Williams all the credit in the world. He held his position, took his time, and went right through the defender's arms and converted, no less.
Feel like I say this every broadcast because here at home, the London Lightning have again hit the 100-point plateau. Now, in previous games, like, well, the 123-104 final against these Express 2 Sundays ago, you'd kind of breathe a sigh of relief going, well, the game's over by now. It certainly is not the case tonight as the Express are just down by 8 with 2:52 left.
Did not convert that foul shot.
Keys to the game brought to you by thestable.ca. Own a little, love it a lot. Free throws was on the list. Wow, focus on the task at hand was the other one, and as a result, the Windsor is slipping back into this game. They're only down by 5. A 2-possession game after they were trailing by 20.
That ball's got to move, either with the dribble with some purpose.
Tate Euros his way around Tejada.
Exactly, that's his trademark this year. We haven't seen too much of it this game, but he can do that all night long.
Tate now 7 of 15 from the field, 18 points. Again, London really sharing the rock offensively. Forte with 23 and a double-double. Williams with 19 and a double-double. Then Tate with 18. He needs 1 assist for a double-double. And then, like I mentioned, Jermaine Haley, he's got 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 points. But he's got those 5 fouls, so watch him out here on the defense. Hard defense, but Stuckman puts it back. And, well, we continue here with the 2-minute warning surpassing us.
2 players going after the same guy doing a layup. Guys in the back door got an easy putback for Windsor.
Jones open real estate. It won't go. Stuckman on the rebound to Devontae Pratt. 3-on-2 the other way for Lance Tejada. Just stripping it from behind with Jones. Jones is trying to say it, then glanced back off at Tejada, but the officials say Express ball.
Well, like Stellick didn't call it right away. He asked for help, and the other official said no. It was a clean strip by Jones.
Timeout taken by Bill Jones with 1:43 left in this game.
Chris
His team
Jones
down by
arguing with
5.
the referee, look at, he's supposed to be a timeout here, and he's still talking to the referees. Like, I don't get it.
Well, to that point, though, he's actually just drawing up a play with his main assistant. Well, the other assistant
I'm talking Chris Jones, the player, was
Oh,
still
my
arguing with the ref. No, Bill Jones, he's just on the court doing the. But Jones, all his teammates are walking to the bench, and Chris is still walking by the 3 referees. Said, like, how did you not see that? Like, that was off his hip. Like, I did a strip right off his leg. Like, stop talking.
Too many basketball Joneses to keep up with.
Ah, yes, I love basketball Jones.
Now, again, 2 technical fouls already handed out in this game. You'd think there'd be a lot less lip service being handed out to the officials during these crucial last minutes of play.
A lot less lip service.
You said he always shows up when they need a little something. That's a case in point right there.
Absolutely.
He's laying back on the defense, though, as Devontae Pratt used the Billy White screen. Now, White wanted the ball immediately, didn't get it from Befford. Now, Befford sort of trapped up here on the near wing. Finally finds White. 6 seconds, though, left on the shot clock. Going after Jordan Jensen. White tried to put it up, won't go. Gets his own rebound for the recycling bin.
Terrific athleticism, coming, falling backwards and going down.
Pratt pulls up the 3 nylon twister.
A 7-point game. Oh, my goodness. All right, so can they get a defensive stop? And where's offense coming from for the London Lightning? Who are they going to
Despite having 5 personal fouls, Jermaine Haley gets ready to check into the game. Jones, again, a former Bill Jones product for the Windsor Express. Feeds it cross court to Tate. He couldn't handle it right away. Barrels down to the floor. They're going to say he touched it while he fell out of bounds. Windsor ball.
Jones not only dribbled too long that time, he picked up his dribble too soon. So I don't know how that's an oxymoron, but He picked it up when he had a defender draped all over him.
It looked like the initial hesitation was to open it up to Forte, but he didn't feed Cameron right away, and as a result, it kind of kerfuffled the rest of the play.
And too much time off the clock. The ball didn't hardly move.
Lance Tejada to Billy White, who's guarded by Haley, who's just checked back into this game. He's got 5 personal fouls. He's got to be careful. Quinnell Brown puts it over Amir Williams. It won't go. Terry Thomas on the board. It'll be the 3rd rebound of the game for Thomas. Amir Williams engages with a fellow 3 and Billy White. Hoop and the harm.
Billy White's got really nothing to say. He put his arms up, but he leaned over and give Amir Williams all the credit in the world. He held his position, took his time, and went right through the defender's arms and converted, no less.
Feel like I say this every broadcast, because here at home, the London Lightning have again hit the 100-point plateau. Now, in previous games, like, well, the 123-104 final against these Express 2 Sundays ago, you'd kind of breathe a sigh of relief going, well, the game's over by now. It certainly is not the case tonight, as the Express are just down by 8 with 2:52 left.
Did not convert that foul shot.
Keys to the game brought to you by thestable.ca. Own a little, love it a lot. Free throws was on the list. Wow, focus on the task at hand was the other one, and as a result, the Windsor is slipping back into this game. They're only down by 5. A 2-possession game after they were trailing by 20.
That ball's got to move, either with a dribble with some purpose.
Tate Euros his way around Tejada.
Exactly. That's his trademark this year. We haven't seen too much of it this game, but he can do that all night long.
Tate now 7 of 15 from the field, 18 points. Again, London really sharing the rock offensively. Forte with 23 and a double-double. Williams with 19 and a double-double. Then Tate with 18. He needs 1 assist for a double-double. And then, like I mentioned, Jermaine Haley, he's got 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 points. But he's got those 5 fouls, so watch him out here on the defense. Hard defense, but Stuckman puts it back. And, well, we continue here with the 2-minute warning surpassing us.
2 players going after the same guy doing a layup. Guys in the back door got an easy putback for Windsor.
Jones open real estate. It won't go. Stuckman on the rebound to Devontae Pratt. 3-on-2 the other way for Lance Tejada. Just stripping it from behind with Jones. Jones is trying to say it, then glanced back off at Tejada, but the officials say express ball.
Well, like Stellick didn't call it right away. He asked for help, and the other official said no. It was a clean strip by Jones.
Timeout taken by Bill Jones with 1:43 left in this game. His team down by out. This has just been such an unpredictable march of basketball. Not necessarily in the NBLC, though, as London looking to tie a league and franchise record with an 11-0 start.
2-possession game here with 17 points. That rebound was just critical from Amir Williams.
Do you have to go for a 3 here quickly?
Yeah, first open shot you got to go for.
Quinnell Brown does so. It's away. It won't go. Devontae Pratt tried to get to the ball. Now pushing it out of bounds was Thomas, so 10.4 left on the clock.
7 seconds gone in that possession, so it's hard to do with this close, 10 seconds left at this level.
It's going to take a lot of skill, a little bit of luck.
And a mental mistake by London.
Pass to Quinnell Brown. Steps back for the 3. Over Amir Williams. It's in with 6.9 left and a timeout taken down at the court.
I think Jones called down. Bill Jones, did he not? I don't see Plum.
No, you go for the ball and miss it. He usually gives the opponent a little more real estate to work with.
You got to foul as well at the same time.
Ooh, I like
but
that.
Multitasking. You got to
Multitasking.
foul on the ball.
Thomas on the inbound. We'll find Tate, who's quickly fouled by Tejada.
Like he couldn't keep up with Tate, but he's putting his hand on the ball, and he went through the player to get it. But at least he's trying to go for the ball, not just grab on the shoulder, because you could be called for an intentional for that.
Tate was 1 assist shy of the double-double with 5.5 seconds. I don't know if he's going to get your partner, but he is 3 of 4 from the charity stripe and has a chance to ice the game here with 5.5 on the clock.
And they have 2 big driving layups as well, right, at the end of the game.
That's his patented move, as you like to call it.
It is his patented move.
So Tate, ice water in the veins as he's at the charity stripe. It's good, and his team has a 4-point lead.
That should be the ball game right there.
Tate looking to add a little more insurance on the board right now as he's got 20 points. Now trying to tie Amir Williams with 21, and he does so. The Express inbound it here. 4 seconds left on the clock. Forte steals it away. The nail in the coffin at the buzzer counts. And the London Lightning prevail 110-103. And on your Sunday afternoon, they tie a franchise and league record with an 11-0 start. And you're pointing out to Cameron Forte, he literally walked right out the tunnel after making that last basket.
All the other players are shaking hands. I know he did the layup at the end there because he was open, but, good sportsmanship, just dribble out the ball.
I wonder, though, if he maybe banged up his wrist a little bit or something. He kind of was shaking himself off as he walked over to the locker room. But I agree with you. You got to shake hands, especially after an epic battle like we just saw on the court. A 7-point victory for the London Lightning. But let's face it, they led the majority of the second half by 20 points. So that 17 to 20-point barrier, it looked like Winsor couldn't break it. And then we enter the final 5